right here, and I think I'll crack it open.
Alright, we're live.
Alright, we're live. Let me switch over to this real quick just so I can... Hold on, I'm going to scoot my chair back. Alright. Crackin'...
Ooh.
Let me switch back.
Yeah, and that was quite the sound.
Did it even make a sound?
Yeah.
An intense one.
Really? Why? I just opened it like regular. It wasn't even anything crazy at all.
Well, you'll hear in like a week or two how it sounded.
Oh wow! I can't wait to know how that fucking beer sounded when I opened it.
Yeah.
Anyways, welcome, dear listeners. All 400 of you. I know all 400 of you are listening. We have 400 subscribers now. We've made it in the year 2025. Oh, that's right.
Kraken.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me? I just refreshed the page and it's at $3.99. Which one of you unsubscribed?
God damn it. Well, they're not
Damn
listening,
you!
obviously.
Why are people always doing that? They're like, subscribe. Yeah, I'm subscribed. Just stay subscribed. You don't even have to watch. Please.
Oh yeah,
Please
$3.99.
subscribe. What stupid son of a bitch unsubscribed?
Oh shit, it was me.
It was you?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that
Scumbags.
stupid.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Welcome all 399 of you to episode 88. I think there's some kind of joke in there. 88, HH. You know what that stands for?
Hi, honey.
Hi, honey. I was gonna say Hulk Hogan.
I was gonna say Hello Hitty.
Hello, Hetty.
Yeah, like Hello Kitty, but Hitty and... never mind.
That was a reach.
That was interesting.
It was poor.
That's what happens when Fred's under pressure. He says, or under pressure, he goes, "Hello, Hitty."
I don't function well under pressure.
Fred functions. He's an android.
I don't function. Saying I function is very optimistic.
Yeah, but I think by the time this episode comes out, we'll be in the new year. So this is probably going to be what, the first show of the year?
Yeah, and we'll for sure have over 400 by that point.
We better.
We might have 400 at that point.
We'll get the Jubby boost.
The Jubby boost. Yeah, sickened Jubby when I mentioned the thing about the bagels and the ketchup. Is what he said. Yeah, that was really nasty, I know. But yeah, if you listened to last week's episode, we had Jub on. It was a pretty good time. We talked about Johnny Bravo, and I don't know what else we talked. I think Rap Rat we talked about maybe. We may have mentioned Rap Rat, the creepypasta. But I guess it was a week. We're not even, we on the show right now talking to you, we're not even at Christmas yet. Christmas Eve is tomorrow. Did you guys get all your shopping done?
No.
I think so. No.
No? What didn't you get done?
Irresponsible. You can drop spoilers because by the time this goes live, it'll be over.
Exactly. Doesn't matter.
Just seems like everything.
You didn't get anybody anything?
No, I was waiting for those checks to come in.
Paul dropped the ball.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I got some last minute gifts. I don't exactly know what I'm doing tomorrow. I think my grandparents are sick, so we maybe not going over there. And then my other family, I don't know. My cousin's a real butthead, so we'll see how that goes tomorrow.
Butthead.
We're real butthead.
So was Jesus born on a different day for you, Fred, in Canada, or do you guys?
Yeah, in Canada, it's actually January 3rd.
Is it really?
No, what's wrong with you?
I don't know. Your Thanksgiving's in October.
Yeah, we got here earlier than you guys.
You did?
I don't know.
That can't be true. I don't know what the story of the founding of Canada is.
Well, no. Well, the Vikings got here first, right? They landed in, what, New Brunswick?
Yeah, and they're like, oh, this is kind of shitty, and then they kept going.
Yeah. Well, no, they got here and they're like, this is way too close to Denmark or wherever they came from.
They're like,
So why bother? Why do we sail this far just to be in the same thing?
they're like, yeah, you
Canada's
can't
close.
can't
You say
grow maize.
Did you say Canada's close to Denmark? Is that what you said?
No, from wherever the Vikings came from to get here. I think it
Oh,
was Denmark to Iceland, then to here. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
It's been a long time since I read about that.
how do we know about Viking history? Did they write shit down in runes or what?
They
yeah.
did, and there's also archaeological finds, including here in Canada. I
Yeah,
think they found a longhouse here. I'm not sure.
they were like world travelers and had communications with other societies and shit. So
They were
that
very
too.
worldly.
I'm asking questions that like black metal people are supposed to know. I don't know that I consider myself a black metal person, but do all black metal people love Vikings? Right? I think that's just a given.
I think it's law.
Viking love is law.
Yeah, you can't listen to metal and not be into Vikings. What's wrong? Like, who does that?
Back, yeah, back when I was a boy, I had a cool Hammer of Thor pennant necklace thing, and now you
Nice.
see guys like that, and just like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
it's
know
kind
about
of it's
that.
kind of a meme at this point.
Now you're like, oh, they listen to Fintroll, don't they?
I don't know about that. They just kind of have it. It's like
It's like a
this.
new atheist thing.
It's like seeing a
I'm a,
pentagram where it don't belong.
I'm atheist, but I wear a Hammer of Thor. I wear
You
a
wear a Hammer of
Mjolnir.
Thor?
No, I do have an Ankh though.
You got an Unk?
Ankh,
You're a
like
hunk.
bleed.
We get it.
Yes, there's that too.
What is Onk?
Um,
Kronk?
no, like
Kronk, pull the lever.
it's the Egyptian symbol that looks like a cross with a circle at the top
Oh, that
instead of
thing.
yeah,
I think the big boy from Nile wears one of those. Carl Sanders.
yeah. He would yeah. And I have a Celtic cross I wear as well, but the ring broke on that, so it's just a chain right now. Gotta get that back on.
Why don't you wear like a guillotine necklace? Real French like.
Now my baguette necklace is getting fixed. It's just like
Baguette?
a little metal bar. Actually, I do have some French necklaces. I have an Occitanian cross, and actually the cross of Agadez is Algerian, I think. But anyways, yep. I have
Maybe
that.
if I'm feeling really eccentric one of these days, I'll like move to France and totally be engulfed in the culture. Well, I don't know. Is France even French anymore? I heard it's not really even a thing. It's been like what's the word? Gentrified or something like that.
It's a little dicey, I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard
Oh
people
man,
say it's basically like LA over there. You get mugged.
just a giant shithole, huh?
Hmm.
Yeah, apparently the crime's not doing very well.
Maybe
Or rather, the crime is doing very well. It's the problem.
Nick can give us some insight.
Yeah, fitting topics for episode 88, I suppose, eh?
Hmm.
Damn it! I'm drinking here.
Cause Fred to choke. Ho ho! Yeah, I was at the car wash with my dad today, and we were washing these motorcycles we got from the scrapyard. And he like yelled to this dude. He goes, "Hey, is that last one open?" And he just looked at him. It's just like Native American, not Native American, but like Aztec-y Mexican looking guy. And he's just staring. And then he's washing the bikes, and this guy's just staring. I'm like, "Hey, watch out for this fucking guy. I don't know what the hell his problem is.
Anything happen?
Fucking freaks." What's that?
Did that guy do anything?
No, he's just staring like an asshole.
Mm. Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, these people. Your people, Paul. You're Aztec or something, aren't you? Or what the hell are you? Are you a native or are you a Aztecian type person?
I don't know. It all kind of blurs. Indigenous.
Indigenous to Central America or or North America?
I think both, just different sides.
Yeah, you look like both. You look like you could fit in the Central American, like the
Yeah,
like
wherever
A Volon album cover.
wherever I need to be. Yeah,
Volon album
I'll
cover.
fit in. Because I got the
Exactly.
white name Paul, the biblical
Paul.
name.
Yeah, that's why everybody loves. That's why everybody loves you. It's because your name is Paul.
Yeah,
They're
it's
like, God,
not.
what a simple, beautiful. It's not Jaquambi or something.
It's not Jose.
It's a very approachable
Jose.
name.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
remember if I've ever met a cool Jose.
Jose, fucking from Liquid Metal.
Oh, except for him, Jose Mangan. Yeah, that guy's the shit.
Yeah.
We were supposed to watch Unblessing. I assumed we
Oh
were gonna
yeah,
see them rehearse, but nothing happened. Like Angel and Josh were just sitting there like Beavis and Butthead giggling to each other.
yeah. I didn't know whether or not to be like, do you guys want to jam? Like, I can hop on the kit, but I didn't know which one was what, because they had two drum sets there. One was like
Well,
falling apart with like a bra on it, and then the other one was like a beautiful Yamaha kit.
Yeah, I
Wait,
wonder
had a
whose
bra
bra
on it?
that was. That was Angel's Brazil. Yeah, there was a bra on the kick drum.
Yeah,
Oh, right then.
yeah. And then they're like, yeah, you're just throwing that word around, huh? Tweaking.
Tweaking.
That just means one thing to us.
Oh, shut up.
Very
Making
cool.
stupid jokes about the Hitmonlees and shit from Pokemon. It's like I named mine to Mike Tyson.
And then the angel is like, then you give him the move bite,
Oh
and then that's the one like headbutt.
my god. Well,
And
yeah,
the funny thing that he said, or why he brought that up, was like, he likes the like human looking Pokemon, like Mr. Mime
Mr. Mime, right?
and Jinx. I was like, that's a little almost like a fetish.
It is. I mean, I almost have a problem with like guys in their late 30s like giving a shit about Pokemon. I can't even fucking imagine.
Hey, some of us are
Are
in
you-
our 40s.
Are you a Pokemon head, Fred?
I play Pokemon Go.
Every day?
Pretty much, yeah.
Fred play Pokemon Go every day.
Like, I played the originals too, but it's a lot more convenient at this point when I have to play the one on the cell phone.
Yeah, didn't not too eventful over there. I mean, Josh did ask me if I wanted to. I was invited to join Unblessing, and my initial thoughts are like, another band. I gotta do this stuff. But I'll give it a try. I think that'd be something good. They know people. Maybe they can help us get some shows.
That's
'Cause
what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Because I don't know if I mentioned last time we got a show lined up in April, but that's not for what 4 or 5 months now.
Yeah, it's like, all right, it doesn't feel real.
No, it doesn't feel real. I have to have done it. See, I gotta keep looking. Oh, well, I don't think anybody listens is even in the LA area. I would suggest anybody who's listening, reach out to people in the LA area. Say, hey, get our boys Galicia because they're pretty good and they want to play, and that's all we're doing is trying to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, but chill Sunday too. I went out shooting again for the traditional late December desert trip. Just shooting shotguns and stuff. My arm hurts.
So, too bad next year, Anthony.
Yeah, I don't know what Anthony's crying about. It's like, what, you got to be invited to everything?
Could have had the shotgun. I could have used my shotgun dick.
I don't know. I don't know that he has a shotgun.
I don't have any guns.
He has a video with the shotgun.
What'd you say, Fred?
I don't have any guns.
You shouldn't say.
Actually,
You shouldn't say that.
That's not true. I do have one, but it's from like the 1830s.
That's your home protection.
Bro basically got a sword. A
I
baseball bat.
I do have a World War I cavalry sword and two World War I bayonets. Uh, but the gun would be better self-defense if you hold it by the barrel and hit people with the butt because it's heavy as hell. And it can fire approximately one round a minute if you're lucky, and if it works.
If you're good.
Damn,
It has like
get
a
ye
has
some
a ramrod
protection.
and everything.
Yeah, car ramrod. Drew's Paul, you reminded me of that fucking Genesis song I completely forgot about. The Land of Confusion. That one was cool.
Yeah, I like that song.
Yes.
Yeah, that was one of the radio ones. That was like that was like the funkiest one.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm that type of like the prog band going into the 80s, like Rush and Asia and fucking like Genesis. I think their and even Yes too. I think their pop music is becoming like interesting to me. Like the mainstream prog aspect of that is
Oh
cool.
yeah, it's good. I used to, not give it any time of day, but some of it's actually good. They're just like
I think most of it's probably good.
usually using their you know new technology and shit. Like a lot of I think the Genesis later on they ended up using like Simmons electronic drums and shit like that. And
So is
it,
that after Land of Confusion?
I think it might be what's that album called, Duke or something.
I don't know. Let's see. Duke.
Yeah,
Oh, the one with the
the
like
guy on it. Yeah.
the it looks like a comic book strip or something like that. Or not a comic, but like a fucking newspaper comic.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I've seen this one around for a while. I think I'll have to check this out. Yeah, I think that's the way forward is well it's going backwards, but that's what I want to start listening
The way
to
of the
kind of give
future.
myself a little bit of a break.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit there. Like every band did it.
Yeah, the song Only Time Will Tell from Asia. There was something else I was just thinking of who did it. What's the Moody Blues did that too. And I always forget the name of that one really cool song. But they kind of did the 80s like maybe Your Wildest Dreams, I think, is like one of them. I'll have to look
Yeah.
into that a little bit.
Then Yes, of course, and yeah, a couple other bands.
Interesting, interesting. Fred, what was that band that you sent us in the group chat? They were called like I think they were Argentinian death metal or something like that.
Profanación.
Profanación. Yeah, I didn't even see this message. When did you send it? Oh, you sent it at
A couple days ago.
oh, I didn't see it until a little bit earlier today. I looked it up.
Is,
I listened to it a little bit.
is it fucking great?
It's pretty cool. It reminds me of like I don't know, Rotrevor or something. It's pretty heavy.
There's so that one is Restrangulation. Their debut album was called Strangulation, and for Restrangulation they re-recorded I think six of the tracks, six or seven, and there's like one or two new tracks, um, new for the time 2014. And I gave the first album a listen, Strangulation, and it's good, but the production on Restrangulation really pushes it over the top. Like it sounds fantastic.
Yeah, these guys they had a demo, then a split, 97, 99, and then went missing for 10 years.
Yeah, I haven't heard the demo, other than just quickly scoping the first album. I've really just heard Restrangulation. There's a record store near me that has a copy that I'll probably go pick up in the next little bit. Because I saw it and I didn't think much of it. They had this is the same store I went to couple months ago that got a whole bunch of slam, brutal death metal and stuff like that. Um, Most of which doesn't do much for me, so I kind of like skipped over this. And then the artwork kind of caught me. It looked really old school. It looked like it's from like the 90s. So I looked it up and gave it a listen. And I'm like, shit, this is actually really good. So, yeah, I'll go back and pick that one up.
I just saw this video you sent me, Paul, of Anthony dancing around with his shotgun.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
What the hell is he listening to?
I don't know. Put it on. Let's see what the.
Oh my god.
Was it?
Did you catch
Was
what
that
that?
Rage Against the Machine or Beastie
Yes,
Boys?
That was
was.
Rage.
That was it. It
Ah,
was very distorted
shotgun.
for me.
With a shit. Oh, you know, Anthony, I love you, man, but that was kind of lame, my friend.
Yeah, that was like at 4 in the morning.
Those moves were a little lame, and that song going along with those moves, I don't know, man. I didn't like that. I don't know if Fred.
I
were you
had
the
to. I
fucking-
had to screen cap that one.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty. That's embarrassment that needs to be saved forever. He doesn't. He doesn't care. By the way, he's not embarrassed by that.
Chad.
Yeah, Chad dancing to Rage Against the Machine at 4 in the morning with a shotgun. Yeah, very good. Fred, were you the adamant Rage Against the Machine defender? Was that you?
I don't know about adamant, but I like them.
You like him? Well, Paul, what do you think about Rage? Do you like him, or do you take my position? Because I cannot stand that band.
Nah, they're alright.
I hate them. I can't listen to that shit.
I don't think I'd be listening to metal, or at least I wouldn't have been listening to it as early as I did without Rage Against the Machine.
I did like them at one point. I learned like 1 or 2 of their songs on guitar in like middle school. But I think that's part of growing up. Part of growing up is realizing that Rage Against the Machine is fucking pretty terrible.
But
Well,
they're not.
at least in my opinion.
But they're really not.
What do you think is good about them? The riffs, the vocal lines. What do you think?
Both. I like the riffs. And I love Zach's vocals. Like, Zach is one of the angriest vocalists I've ever heard.
Got you there, Dan.
You didn't get me there. That's fine. No, that's fine. They're a band that does their thing, and people are gonna like them. But it is at this point in my life, it is not for me, and it's one of those. I usually don't even hate bands. I usually don't even give a shit. But Rage Against the Machine is like one of the bands where it's like important for me to not like them for what because
Yeah, but-
I find them so terrible.
But Paul said I got you there. It's game
That
over.
doesn't. I'm afraid that doesn't mean anything. I don't care if he said got me over there, here,
Yeah.
there, or anywhere.
Let's see if you care about this. Fred, I think Dan got you there.
Oh, it's over then.
You know what? You know what? I think Paul's actually right now. I changed my position. He is right, and he's always been right. As long as he sides with me, he's right.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't remember how I learned about Rage Against the Machine, but I do remember ordering
Guitar
their-
Hero, yo.
I just like
No.
their rhythm section the best, like
I learned them way
bass,
before
drums, and then obviously the vocals. Going over those beats and shit. That's what I like
remember-
about them. Not so much like the zany fucking guitars. I don't really care about that, but it was good.
I got their first album from the Columbia House Record Club, and yeah, it was cool. And I got Evil Empire. Didn't like that one as much.
Evil Army.
But the Third album was pretty good.
Third Empire from the Sun.
Third Empire. No, but Evil Empire has a song called People of the Sun, and that song rips.
Oh, I remember that song. I had it on the old iPod. I did used to listen to them, but something switched, man.
Yeah, I'm that way with Green Day. I used to like Green Day. I had Nimrod, and I liked
Imrod.
Dookie and the other classic albums. But you
Somebody
know what
clip
happened?
that. Clip Fred saying, I like Dookie.
But then American Idiot came out, and it's like that album made me realize just how annoying they are, especially his vocals. And now I can't listen to the old stuff either. I'm just like, it just made me realize how annoying they are.
Damn.
Uh, I don't hate Green Day. I don't think there's any of those pop punk bands from the night or like, popular punk bands from the 90s that I hate. I think I
Hmm.
basically can tolerate all of them. I know that's I don't know if that's a what kind of takes metal guys have because I think at some point everyone hated pop punk. They're like, or I think punks hate pop punk. I think is what it is.
Hmm.
Punks go, that's not real punk, bruv. Why they paint so baggy?
That's not real punk.
You want to know real punk? Black Flag, Minor Threat, real punk. That's what they'll say something like that.
I
I
think
feel like these are
I
middle
would.
school takes. When you're in middle school, punk is the shit, and then you grow up and you're like, oh, music can actually be creative and cool. I mean, I'm sure some of those bands have gotten like, yeah, it's like that Spastic Blur song where he goes, oh yeah, generic punk, my favorite, and it's like,
I think my stance on Green Day has eased a little bit because I could not stand most of the tracks from American Idiot, and I kind of ignored them for like 20 years. And then they had an album that came out not too long ago, and there was what was that track? The American Dream is Killing Me, which, for all intents and purposes, is basically the same thing as American Idiot. But I didn't hate it, so yeah,
what
whatever.
is American Idiot even about? That's the song. I don't even know what it's about. I'm such a dunce.
Uh,
I wasn't paying attention.
I think that was basically Green Day going the same route as Rage Against the Machine, just not as eloquently and not as violently.
So what is Rage Against the Machine? They're like, fuck the cops, yo. Is that what they're about?
Kind of like I just meant like it's more so Green Day going political, more explicitly political than they were in the past. And I could be wrong. I'm not a huge Green Day fan, but that's kind of the way I interpret it. American Idiot kind of seemed to be them making a point about something, whereas albums like Nimrod and Dookie were kind of just goofy. But
Yeah.
I don't think they made the point very well, and I didn't like the album either.
Yeah. So
And
when we talk about popular bands being political, that basically means like the insufferable kind of political.
yes,
Gotcha,
but
gotcha,
again, like
gotcha.
I think it was much more natural for Rage Against the Machine because it started out that way, whereas for Green Day, it to me at least felt like a very sudden shift to being trying to be relevant. And I mean, obviously it worked because American Idiot was huge. It's like it gave him like a second life, but I didn't like it. It felt like, why are you doing this? You're like a goofy band. But Rage was always that way, so like it was. Imagine Rage came out with a goofy album. It's like what? That doesn't make sense.
Leave
Oh,
in the comments.
that cover album was a little weird, but I actually like that too.
Yeah, Shannon, you're listening. Leave in the comments. What do you think about Rage Against the Machine? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Are they decent? Oh, and also, Shannon, get in contact with me either through the comments or through my email. We want to
Big
have you on the show
plans.
this year
Big plans.
at some time.
2025.
Big plans, Shannon. Get my email through like Bandcamp or something, or just comment and I'll leave it there or some shit.
Is this thing on?
Has he commented yet?
Yes, he did.
Oh, good job.
Yeah, he just said I
He's
was
quick
reading.
with it.
Very, very quick. Yeah, he can predict when we're going when we're talking about telepathy. Oh yeah,
Are we back
speaking
up to
of that,
400 subscribers? I hope we're back up to 400 subscribers by the time this recording is over. I'm gonna refresh.
yeah,
Where are we at?
yeah, I would hope so.
Refresh.
Let's
Where
play
are we at?
music.
Nope, still $3.99. God damn it.
Who's
You
do
people.
who is unsubs? That happens every once in a while. Like it'll go up and then it'll go down one. Like what?
I, th-
Maybe
I
they'll delete
think.
that count.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's
It's
just
like
hope
it's,
it's that we're not
it's
getting
like on my
trolled
it's
here.
like on my Instagram. I can't imagine anyone would get sick of me. They just delete their accounts
S-
because they're sick of Instagram. People don't get
Some
sick of
yes,
me.
yeah. Somebody is like is trying to psychologically fuck with us, where it's like they went up one, now they went down. Ha ha. Son of a gun. Give me 1 second. All right. I was mentioning the band Profanation. I looked them up on Metal Archives and I saw their picture and I was like, wait a minute, that looks like somebody I know. The bass player, the girl bass player.
No, I didn't know there was
That
a girl in the
is
band.
that is someone I know. She wasn't on the album. That's the girl from Harlequin. You remember, Paul?
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
And what's it called? Lithopedia.
Yeah, I know her
Well,
sister. I was like, wait a minute, how the hell is she in fucking Argentina? I guess they relocated at some point. They're now in Los Angeles.
Hmm.
who is it? Here we go. Ra- Raquel Solis.
Yeah, that's her.
Oh, cool. Was she on the album that we talked about, or
Raquel,
I
get
don't
us
know?
on the show.
No, no, she's. Oh yeah, I can. I gotta hit. I gotta hit them up too. See, the wheels are turning here. I think after this episode, I'm gonna do a billion emails.
Shannon, get us on the show.
Go.
Come on. What is this?
Then we'll meet up in Canada and do the live recording of this
Oh yes.
with a big audience, and then Glissy will play after,
In my basement.
and then yeah, everyone will just rifle through your CDs.
No, you're not touching those.
Don't touch thine CDs.
Could we touch them?
We'll see. We'll talk.
Oh, I finally got my Vehemence fucking box set. I got it back in August, and with all the materials that they had in there, they barely shipped it out last week. They had to get the CDs, the vinyl, the shirt, and
God.
the poster all in this like huge box set. So I guess all those things weren't, all lined up until last week. But awesome, fucking box set.
You lucky, lucky boy. They sent you the right size T-shirt.
Oh yeah, we're good.
Nice.
Yeah, everything was right. I saw a typo in the lyrics, but I mean, come on.
Oh, guys, come on.
They
Oh,
spelled
that's cool. That means it's either you got the one typo or I don't know. It's like it'll be worth money one day.
they
The
spelled
typo.
they spelled through with two T's.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was on Redefining Darkness that it came out on, and
Which album is it?
they did both actually. So they did God Was Created and Helping the World to See.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So they did both of those reissues.
Did you get both? Or
No, I just got the Helping the World to See because I think the box set was sold out for God Was Created.
Oh, okay.
Well, unless they restocked them. But yeah. I like I think I like that third album probably best, even though God Was Created was like objectively better just because I found that third one first. I think it was like yeah, because I remember watching the video for By Your Bedside.
I don't think I've ever really given them much of a listen. I
You never listened to God Was Created?
I don't think so. At
Bro,
least not with any recent memory. I,
you like
I don't
into
think.
symbolism? These guys are better.
Whoa. The their logo and artwork kind of makes me think they were brutal death metal. That's probably why I didn't venture to them too much.
Well, yeah, it's like I think a little bit more interwoven rather than like the sugary melodies versus like the brutal beatdowns that Antesymbolism would do. They would just like go in between those, but here it's like actually interwoven and in ways where they do have those parts, but it's not like, all right, you got a really sugary solo. I'm sure I'm gonna hear a chug right after it. It's a little bit more,
Sure.
not so contrasted like that. It's actually, I don't know, bit more to it than just going back and forth like a metalcore song or something.
Oh, yeah.
Is the band Nona Mortis from Slovakia, are they better than Intestine Ballism? Because I know Intestine Ballism is like a favorite for a lot of people, but I'm getting the impression from I've been getting this impression from you, Paul, a little bit throughout maybe this past year that there are better bands than Intestine Ballism.
Mm-hmm.
So Nona Mortis.
No, I would have to listen to that one again. Autumn Leaves might be.
Yeah, dude, that actually might be. Autumn Leaves is pretty great, and they're pretty dynamic in an interesting way.
I've been playing that album a lot. It is a fantastic album.
Yeah, it's
Probably,
I love how it's so unpredictable, but everything kind of just flows together well.
it's
Yeah.
probably one of my favorite pickups of 24.
You lucky ducky. How much was that?
Not a ton. I think I paid like 30 Canadian for it.
I
Which
thought
is
you
probably
said
like
30K. I was like, fuck.
$30,000. Which is, I
30K.
think 30 Canadian is like what, 20, 22 American?
Damn. And you can only buy from within Canada, right? Where are you getting it from, like,
Uh,
everywhere else?
no, I bought that from within Canada. Like, or I'll order from anywhere, but if I can keep it domestic, I will. It's just cheaper.
Oh, okay.
Like, if I'm looking on Discogs, I have the option to order from within Canada. It's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But like the order of things is Canada, then Europe, and then the U.S., and then everywhere else.
Mm.
Because Europe is cheaper and faster than ordering from the U.S., which is bonkers.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, damn. Because I think you
But
told me that you try to, never order from there. Or make it seem like you couldn't.
oh yeah, no, I definitely can, but it's just fucking expensive. That's all. The if I order a CD from the U.S., I literally just pay the price of the CD twice for shipping. It's bonkers.
Damn.
But within Canada's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I think the
It's
same
like,
thing happens in Europe. They have to like pay a fee for stuff coming like overseas.
oh really?
Yeah, yeah. I remember I tried to send Nick some shit, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta pay $30 for a shirt that costs like." Well, I sent him. I was sending him shit for free. I was like, "Oh, dude, well, I'll pay for it." He goes, "No, I got enough free stuff. I'll pay the $30." Yeah, apparently that's a thing. The European Union is making them pay extra money to like even accept things.
That's
Damn.
balls.
Speaking of
The
more
EU.
non-metal stuff, the
EU. More
EU,
like PU. They
EU.
stink.
That's right.
Boo. Alright, you were saying.
Oh, I was gonna mention good pop punk band Millencolin. I don't think I've ever brought them up on the show, but I like Millencolin. It's Swedish punk rock. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that band. I think they had something to do, or they had albums produced by Dan Swano, which is kind of interesting. And I think they had a there was a poster in Drake and Josh's room on the TV show, which is a little bit surprising. I mean, who has even heard of Millencolin before?
Mm-mm.
Not me.
Yeah, check him out. Mr. Clean is a good song. Surfing in My Room, that's a good one.
And so they were coexisting with the Game Sphere and Dr. Fizz.
Yeah, coexisting with the Game Sphere, Dr. Fizz, all that stuff. The Okama Game Sphere. Yeah, was spherical. I was just looking right here on my YouTube homepage, and the video is called "When Royal Guards Show No Mercy to Dumb Fools." You guys know the Royal Guards, right? The guys with
Yeah.
the
Hmm.
big puffy hats. The first clip is a Royal Guard punching some black guy in the face, and then the second clip is the Royal Guard's horse biting some girl's arm.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one. And
Let's
then
see what's
there's
this.
then there's the
Even
kind
the
ones.
horses don't take any shit.
There's the kind ones where it's like some blind person comes and then the guy does a little acknowledgement and it's like, you can touch my horse, my lady.
Oh God, I was just yeah. It seems like the only violent one I've seen is the very first one where he just punches some guy in the face.
Yeah.
Oh, here's one: a horse bites a kid in the ear. That wouldn't feel too good.
Horses are amazing.
Oh shit! The Royal Guards are marching. Somebody ran up to him, and then he gets knocked out, and he's like being taken away on a stretcher. He's knocked out.
I'm a fucking stretcher.
See, I want to see more stuff like this on YouTube. I want to see more violence from.
Not the guy with the longest arms.
Yeah. Something else came up was like man with the big. It's not longest arms, biggest arms. His fists were like 12 inches wide.
That's a whole foot, buddy. Couple clicks for you, I think.
Oh yeah, did they not do? Did they not do inches in Canada? I don't know.
Uh, well, because of you backwards ass people, we have to know both. So we're pretty well versed in metric and imperial. You guys-
Imperial? Is that what we're on?
yeah,
I didn't know it was called that. I didn't know it was called Imperial.
for God's sake.
We just know it as the right way.
We know it
Right.
as the American way.
Because a system of measurement that uses numbers divisible by 12 makes a lot of sense.
Hmm.
I didn't go to college. I don't know what that means.
Just,
Divisible?
oh my God.
Is that like liberty and justice for all?
Yes, exactly like that.
Oh, okay. Oh, lucky me. Tomorrow, yeah, like I said, tomorrow's Christmas Eve. And, well, Robert already beat me to the punch. He posted the clip from Ozzy Osbourne and Jessica Simpson, Winter Wonderland. I was going to do the same thing. Damn it. Well, you know what? I'll do it anyways just because it's a great clip. There's something so funny about Ozzy singing a Christmas song with Jessica Simpson.
Did we listen to Jingle Balls or Jingle Bells?
At Drew's house? Yeah, you're like, it's the death metal Christmas song. It's Korn.
Anthony's like, damn, that's trippy, dude.
What has everyone been talking about lately? The punk rock NBA. Does anybody even know who that is? You guys don't even know who that is, do you?
Finn, yeah.
You do? How do you even know who that is?
Anyone knows, anyone knows.
Fred, did you know who that guy was? The Finn McKenty guy?
Nope.
He wasn't quite a metal YouTuber. He was like this kind of all-encompassing guy who was in the hardcore scene in the 90s or something. And he covered like black metal and death metal stuff. And then I guess in the past week he quit YouTube and he like he made his statement saying, "I never give a shit about this music. It was all for money." And now all the metal YouTubers are like, "Oh my God, this guy is such a poser. Can you believe this freaking guy?" I guess it's like a big controversy now. But
For the money, how much money could you possibly have made off of that?
I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know. I don't quite understand that.
He was right behind
And-
Fantano, so probably a lot.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't quite understand people caring about someone like him because he wasn't like
Bro, he just got me into so much good music, like, and
I
he
just
doesn't, and he,
can't-
does, and he just doesn't give a shit. Like, I just feel so betrayed.
I think that's the mindset of a lot of people, but I just can't relate.
That
maybe.
and
Yeah.
his grooming. I think that's what people are like. Oh yeah, he just got out of there so he wouldn't be canceled for grooming. He wanted to be known as the person who betrayed you rather than like that.
All right.
That
So
kind of
here's-
reaction reminds me of back. You remember Velvet Cocoon? and
Yeah,
all the old Nargaroth stories, or self-proclaimed stories
yeah,
of
the
dating back to
semen on the T-shirt.
1989. Oh yeah, no, but like before that, like when the first album came out, he was claiming to have been formed or to have formed Nargaroth in 1989, and like demos from like the early 90s, which was untrue. But like I remember when it came out that Velvet Cocoon didn't actually record their music with a diesel harp, or Nargaroth didn't actually have demos dating back to 1989. People were like, "Oh," I'm like, first of all, you believed it, and second of all, you cared. Like, who the fuck cares? Do you like it or not? That's all that matters.
Yeah, yeah, I can't imagine anybody caring about metal YouTube people
Oh yeah,
in
it's
in such a
crazy.
way, well, I mean, you can kind of tell right away. You can kind of tell exactly who the people are that are doing this stuff by the shit that they're into and like kind of the way they present themselves. It's pretty clear from the get-go.
Well, I mean, the way people like whether it's a YouTuber or a band, the way people write things off like that is just bonkers. Again, with like Nargroth, they found out that it was lies. People were boycotting Nargroth, and people who liked the albums before hated it now. I'm like, what's changed about the recording that you liked before? Nothing. It still sounds the same. Why do you hate it now?
Yeah,
Because he
maybe
because he
maybe
because he
there's
fooled you. Maybe be less gullible.
yeah, I think there's like some kind of disconnect between like the late 90s and now just because you know guys had to kind of like rely on CD sales and rely on kind of other people promoting their shit. We're like now everyone's just on YouTube discovering random stuff, whether it's new or old. It's kind that the it's kind of lost the like we're a band. The we're a band thing is kind of lost. It's like yeah, you can be a band, but you're sort of like in this giant ether where maybe someone's gonna find you, maybe you'll blow up. You know what I mean? It's not like someone's gonna for the most part. It's not like someone's I think some people still do go through certain record labels and like look for stuff. But for the most part, I think most people are just like on YouTube or on Spotify or something.
Despite being in this podcast, I don't watch any metal YouTubers, and I don't listen to any metal podcasts. Like here and there, I might play some, but not with any regularity, right? It's
I
just I
suppose
don't know.
I do, but that's just because sometimes at work I don't want to listen to music and I want to just listen to like talk radio, which is basically like what a podcast is. I get the urge. I get the like if it feels cozy to like listen to a talk radio thing and just kind of get some work done.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel about it.
I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
most of it's not good, so you're not really missing much.
Uh I assume not. I only have maybe like 3 or 4 metal YouTube or podcast things like that I listen to, you know, just about every other day. I was our that guy we always talk about, the music of destruction, that goofball. He had a I caught some of his live stream last night. He had a cool guest on actually, and that guy was pretty dope. I don't know if Fred or Paul, you're familiar with the label Cyclopean Eye, are you?
I
Mm-mm.
I know them. I've heard the name, but I don't know what bands are on there or releases.
they're out of India, so he's like talking to this Indian dude who's a bit older.
Oh, have they done like the Tetragrammaticide sort of things,
Sort of things. I think the big band that they
or
did
related projects,
was
anyways?
Genocide Shrines and Conflict. Conflict was probably the biggest one out of off his roster.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I know Genocide Shrine, and I know the shrines and some of the bands, if I remember correctly, that are on there. Uh, just from memory, I think there's a lot of noise influence in the bands that they release,
Yeah,
and that's kind of why it wasn't quite for me. But like from what I remember, respectable label, just not everything on there is for me.
Yeah, the leader or the fucking label head, he seemed like a pretty cool guy. And he seemed like he knew what he was talking about. He mentioned libido airbag. He's like, oh fucking gross Bun Bun.
Oh, this is the band I'm thinking of. I'm not pronouncing that. Geotis,
Donga?
Geotisavadanga. Yeah,
Vadonga.
yeah, that's the
I
one that
remember this.
there were
I
some
remember this too.
albums there that looked really cool, but there was just a bit too much noise for me, and I didn't really get into it. Like I didn't hate it, but just not didn't like it enough to pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly where that kind of stuff started, where it's like black metal, but it's intentionally like
Awesome.
not intentionally awesome. It's intentionally like rawer than raw black metal, and it's like kind of industrial sounding. I'm thinking like Neocthobliz is probably one of the original, like the first ones that I can think of. I don't know if there's anything that came out earlier than that that had like straight up noise influence. I don't know how you guys feel about Neocthobliz. I know your brother liked them, Paul.
Yeah.
Them I like. I have I never picked up their first album, but I have the compilation of their early stuff, whatever, the demos, EPs, whatever. Uh, and that's pretty cool, but I do need to be in the mood for it.
Yeah, I heard the that I think it was an EP, the one with the fucking skull on it. That was like the main one. I heard that not too long ago, and if you like listen past the intentionally bad production, that it's actually cool.
Well,
Basically war black metal.
would you consider Abruptum like the first to start that?
Um,
Oh, that's
I don't.
Abruptum.
It's a bit different with
That's like
Abruptum, I
black
think.
noise.
Yeah, but it's it,
Yeah, but
it's
they're
more
doing
like
that
an
all on their
industrial.
own with like decent production. Like that's kind of all their own writing.
Yeah.
The stuff that I'm talking about is kind of more on the war metal spectrum.
Mm.
Yeah, war metal that kind of breaks through to just being noise. Um, Abruptum has always struck me as all the basic elements of traditional second wave black metal, but like broken down into primordial components. So like you'll still have the bass, the guitar, the drums, the the vocals, but like without any form or structure whatsoever, and this kind of happen
Yeah.
randomly.
Just like happens.
But it's kind of like the the war metal bands we're talking about. It's kind of like, for lack of better description, the music gets so intense it kind of just overloads into just flat out noise.
Oh yeah.
And those are the ones I'm not really into because like noise and power violence isn't a genre that's ever really done a whole lot for me. So, uh, like I don't hate them, but I don't necessarily go out of my way for them very often either.
Yeah, I get that. I think the one that everybody liked too early on was like Tetragrammacide,
Yeah,
which is like I like the idea, and I kind of like the aesthetic that Tetragrammacide goes with. Um, maybe it got. I think the ultimate Tetragrammacide album was that one from maybe 2018, that like Pure White album. I forget what that one's called. Because that was the one where they kind of dropped the noise aspect, and they kind of just became more or less just a Black Death band, but they were still pretty good at it.
the the guys from Nuclear Hammer, who are local to me, um, they have a noise influence in their material, and I think
Yeah, they do.
it's much clearer in the drummer and vocalist's side project. Uh, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but Niriti,
Oh
which
yeah, yeah.
has
It's like international, right? They have Indian members.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's at least one of the guys involved with Tetragrammacide in there, even though they go by a different name on that release. But in any case, um, that one does a lot more noise. Nuclear Hammer kind of incorporate that noise influence between tracks, almost like interludes, especially on Serpentine Hermetic Lucifer, and that I'm okay with because it's kind of like smaller bursts of it that kind of fill the gap between tracks. Like that album has like a 9 minute monster opener, multi-dimensional prism of black hatred, I
Yeah.
think it's called, and that track is so good. Um, and then after that, it's like a very short noise track. It's like staticky sort of thing. Um, and it kind of just like follows that pattern for most of the album, if I remember correctly. It's like metal and then like a shorter noise track and then metal and then a shorter noise track. And that I find more palatable than like songs that have like extended uh, noise portions. But
Yeah, I feel the same way. I like what Nuclear Hammer did on that album. It's interesting. It's like it's the Blasphemy
yeah, it was
formula,
a
but it's
huge, huge
sort
advancement
of
over what they
played
did.
out in a way where it almost becomes like it's like yeah, it's like high art version of war metal. It's very interesting.
Amazing the evolution from where they were like just 5 years prior because I had followed them since I think 2007 when their Serpent's Malignancy EP came out or split and Existence of Abhorrence because I remember picking those up from the band when as they came out and they came out with their first album Obliteration Ritual and that is a good war metal album. But then
Yeah, I love that album.
within 5 years, Serpentine Hermetic Lucifer comes out. That's not even in the same ballpark. It's a completely different monster.
Yeah, they even
it's
started dressing
psychotic. It's
differently.
yeah. It's cosmic. It's hypnotic. It's just like it's insane. It's a fairly new and original take on war metal, and it's unique to them. Like they killed it. It was fantastic.
I remember reading an interview with, I believe it was the guy Doomhammer who plays guitars.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I read an interview with him, and I don't. It really opened my eyes to like a lot of things. Though he said that their band is influenced by all sorts of things, like old death metal, like Demi Lich, and Greek stuff like Verathron and Thou Art Lord and shit. And he's
Mm,
like, well, yeah. He's like, if you don't hear it in our music, he's like, you're not listening hard enough. And I really do like that idea because they kind of fall in the same like area as some of the noisier shit like Neoctoblis because I know they're into that stuff. And like you
yeah.
said, they're into power violence and shit like that too. Um, but yeah, there is something about that style. I think I was barely getting into that like when it was kind of popular when uh the Serpentine Lucifer album came out and when Tetragrammacide was brand new and Nocturnal Blood was there and all that kind of stuff. Like maybe the music isn't all there for some guys where it's like I need more riffs, I kind of need more dynamic, but I really do like the sort of aesthetic or like idea of that going on. I think even in that Nuclear Hammer interview, he was talking about, or what the fuck was he talking about? Maybe besides the Greek black metal stuff, I think their
Mm,
aesthetic just really appealed to me too. Like if you look at their Facebook page and some of their oldest pictures, the way they kind of present themselves on stage, Doomhammer has like a vest with King Diamond patches, and he's got like a Der Sturmer t-shirt and Ouroboros t-shirt, and then like I don't know, there's like revenge stuff going on with all the band members, and I don't know, I love the idea of oh these guys are kind of just super metal and they listen to all the coolest bands and they end
yeah.
up sounding like this fucking shit noise. I really do appreciate stuff like that, and they're not afraid to go on stage with sunglasses and hoods and things.
Yeah.
I
They
really, I really like the aesthetic there, and I love the idea.
when the
It's so cool.
back in 2017, I think it was when Verathron played in Toronto. They opened for Verathron, but normally what happens is the drummer is the singer too. So in that sense, it's a fairly static set when you watch Nuclear Hammer because there's no lead vocalist to command the show. But this particular time, um, he had injured himself. I don't know what the injury was, but in any case, he couldn't play drums. So someone filled in for him on drums, and he did vocals. Uh, and it really, really brought the band to a new level live. And I saw them again last year, opening for, I think it was Thornspawn,
Mm.
um, and they were fantastic live again. But without that like front person to really command the show and performing from behind the drum, it does take something away from it. So that was a really unique experience for a band that I'd seen live a few times
Well, they got to do
before.
what Paul Ledney does with just going right in the front of the stage with the drums.
Yeah, but I mean, it still like it does limit the. 'Cause, I mean, you can't move around behind the drum set much, right? So,
I think
but
it's like way more impressive though.
yeah, yeah, being able to perform the drums and get the vocals, I imagine must be a lot more difficult than playing guitar and getting the vocals.
Yeah, I don't know.
But but Doomhammer was his first band is called Fog, Fogg, and they or he I think it was one person band, and he released a CDR that I have, and I remember it's funny because it's called it has demo tracks and unreleased bonus tracks are included on it. I think it's phrased that way, but it doesn't actually tell you which are which, so you don't know what the demo tracks are and what the unreleased tracks are. It's just kind of five tracks, and you don't know what's what.
Yeah, Doomhammer seems cool as hell. No shit, he's one of my heroes.
Yeah, I know he's a cool guy.
It
Pretty
seems
much
like
all the
all the
bands.
stuff that came out of like, well, the early Edmonton stuff, and then like I know Nuclear Hammer's like super influenced by that shit. I think that whole block of people, even something like uh what the fuck is the name of that label? The Antichrist Kramer. I don't know why I'm. Oh, Skinhead Propaganda.
Satanic Skinhead, yeah.
Yeah, like I love the roster of Satanic Skinhead Propaganda. You get all this fucked war metal, and then you get like that I forget the name of the band, but that one DSBM band with like the Blazebirth Hall art and like death metal shit like Vasileth. I really like that idea of just the most abrasive or just kind of fucked metal that you can get, but it's all super. It's all like super rooted in old metal and just cool shit. I really like that.
Oh yeah, but you mentioned the Western Canadian scene, but the in like the mid 2000s, 2010s, there was a really really strong Toronto scene, and that's where Nuclear Hammer, Antediluvian, Adversarial, uh, all kind of came out, and there were some other bands that were, if not necessarily directly connected, but at least part of the same scene. You had Paroxysm,
Yeah,
Morbid Ceremony, Crucifixotomy, bunch of things like that. Befouled Serenity that really had like it was a strong scene, and I think around like I want to say 2011, 2012, it kind of dried up a bit, and
yeah,
you can tell too that's not like the bands that I mentioned kind of well, Antediluvian moved out west, so they stopped doing a whole lot. Adversarial, I think, stopped playing live for quite a while, and after like the last album or the second album, Death, blah 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 blah, it's like almost a decade before they did anything. Crucifixotomy broke up, Morbid Ceremony broke up, I think Befouled Serenity broke up. So it's kind of it kind of just like crumbled for a little bit, and I don't think it's fully recovered. Maybe I don't have my ear to the underground in Toronto as much as I used to, and maybe there's stuff out there. But from my immediate impression, I get it's not as lively as it was back then. We do have some newer bands that are pretty cool. Hexafiction, I'm not sure they're from Toronto specifically, but they're from the area anyways. Their first album came out a couple years ago and it's fantastic. It's really fucking good.
Fred, get us a Canadian show.
I can hook you up with promoters here.
Okay. Looks like we're on our way.
Done and
Done.
done.
You know what? To be quite honest, I'm not. We are not like only. Oh, we're only going to do LA shows. We'll basically go anywhere. If anyone will have us, we will go anywhere. You don't even have to
Yeah.
fly us out. Hey, but if you want to,
Even better.
even that would be even better. If you got money, any rich promoters out there, get us. You guys will
I
like
don't
us.
know.
I guarantee it.
I don't know about rich promoters. I mean, the big promoter in Toronto is Inertia, and they're the ones who bring like the Wetanes and the Rotting Christ sort of shows. So
We can open for Watain or Rotting Christ. We could do that.
yeah, but I think
Paul, don't laugh. It's not a joke.
You'd have better luck with the other promoters like Beast of North and who's the other one that I can't remember. One that put on some recent shows.
Fred, just start your own promotion, and then get us out.
I know nothing about that shit.
Just be like, look at my CDs. Okay.
But look at my CDs.
I just book a bar, be like, hey, can this band play here? Like, sure. I'm the only one that shows up. Actually, that's pretty cool.
We'll so
Can
play.
you imagine just booking a band
no
and just
shit.
for a personal show? Hey, where's the crowd? I am the crowd. Play.
Play. No shit, Fred. If you know any of those guys, hit them up. I'll shoot you some Canada bucks.
Yeah, I'll shoot you their profiles.
Fred, our Canadian booking agent.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, Fred's our agent.
That feels strong, but hey, I'll take it.
I feel like I'm echoing all of a sudden.
Yeah, his prerequisites were the CDs. He's good. Knows his stuff.
Let's see, can you hear me?
Yep, checks out. Yeah, hear you fine. Nothing's really changed.
Fuck. I pressed something on my headset by accident, and now I'm hearing a bunch of echo. Hello.
Hi.
Okay, I think I'm okay.
You all right?
Yeah,
You're
you
good.
know what? I think I've changed my tune. See, what's his name? Fucking Music of Destruction. He kind of got us out on this tangent about war metal of that era, and yeah, he kind of got us off on a tangent a little bit. And you know what? His last episode with that interviewer was cool. And it's so funny. He was talking to that guy, and he kept interrupting him a little bit. He's like, you know why my channel's big? Because I'm charismatic. Because I don't care. And it's funny. He's like making the interview about himself. I thought that was pretty good. And I'm like, you know what? I can't hate this guy. That's kind of hilarious.
No.
I don't hate the Music of Destruction. He is just funny. Maybe he's the same
you
as...
got a soft spot for these guys, like
I do.
the
I do have a soft-
Transylvanian and
I do have a soft spot for these very abrasive, unaware, self-aware, unaware.
yeah.
I do have a soft spot for them, definitely.
Yeah, you're like, come on, guys, be nice to them.
Be nice to the Transylvania. Leave them alone.
You're gonna be one of the patrons and the MODs.
No, I'm not giving anybody any fucking money.
You gave County some.
Who?
County
County?
County
Medic?
County Blag.
No, I didn't.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, Julian did.
Oh.
I didn't. I'm not giving nobody no fucking money.
Except Fred, because he's promoting now.
Yep.
I don't think I've given Fred money. I've given Fred oysters.
Giving him goods.
They were fine oysters.
You actually ate those? I had like a pepper in it. They were spicy.
Yeah, well, I like spicy food, so it worked fine for me.
All right. See if there's anything else in the itinerary here
We
before
have
we
itineraries.
before we go to break. Yeah, let me check my itinerary. Let me see. Take a quick look. No, I think we got everything covered. Ready for break?
Well, I
Sure.
just sent you the three promoters that I'm aware of. So
Oh, cool, 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 cool.
actually, I'll send you intro as well, just because why not?
All right. We'll be
We'll be
going on
black.
break.
Toodle.
All right, we're back, and we're talking about black noise versus wool noise. I prefer that a little bit better than wool noise. So I don't know how you guys like it. You guys had that whole talk before about the
Well, our
wool
talk.
noise.
Well, what we said in that talk is that like we kind of don't love that style,
Yeah, I tuned you
but
guys out. Just kidding.
well, that's okay. I was saying that I like the aesthetic and the idea of that style more than I actually like the music for that stuff. I
Yeah.
know Reek
Yeah,
of the Unzen Gas Fumes is like in that, but you said they're actually good, and yeah, that is true.
Well, I think it's just like along with like black noise, where it's like actually like Fred said, like with Abruptum, it's like boiled down. It's just a band, like a band, and then it's just more like production and like adding like harsh noise and stuff like that onto it, like that album, Wold, or that band Wold. I was just talking to you about them, Dan. Screech Owl.
I remember that.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. And what else was it? Oh, I guess you can put like Gold Vulva in that too.
Which one's Gold Volva? I always forget.
They have
Never
like
heard
that
about it.
demo from '92.
Oh, the is this the what do you call it? The fucking Beharit guys?
Let
Yep.
me see. Yeah,
Oh, okay. I don't remember what this sounds like. I do remember this band kind of. Yeah, I was thinking like that Yorkshire English black metal. What do you call it? Fucking white metal. I feel like that kind of like falls into that territory too. Because I know
yeah,
that guy's like a big noise artist, and he's got a bunch of different projects.
yeah.
I had
His project.
I had written something about Abruptum when I posted their first album. And I don't remember how I phrased it, but I remember really liking it. And I wish I could find it. But
Uh,
that's a,
I-
that's a lot of
I've
scrolling.
heard like bits and pieces of Abruptum throughout the years. I think the Evil EP, that one's more like straight up death metal, isn't it?
Yeah, their demos and EP have a lot more structure to them.
What would you
And
recommend I listen to? Because I never really listened to everything by Abruptum. I've heard, like I said, I've heard bits and pieces of them forever.
okay, so they have three distinct eras. The first is the demo era, which is much more death metal, much more structured. I'd still consider it black metal, but it's very black, doomy sort of thing. Um, but then you have the first three albums. Um, those are, I guess, for lack of a better term, like the core abruptum sound. They're either one or two tracks each of just straight up noise, I guess. And like I said, it's you have all the instruments of black metal, so the vocals, the bass, the drums, the guitars, but they're not put together in any coherent song structure. And that might break out in like drumming with riffs every so often, but it's not um, arranged in a song. So in the middle of like a bunch of random screams and feedback and things like that. Suddenly you'll get like and a riff over it, and then it'll go on for like 1 or 2 bars, and then just be gone, and it's back to like randomness again, which in itself is random. Um, so you have the first album, Obscuritatem, the second one, which is really long, but Umbra, blah 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 blah, and the third one, Visonus, and those are the three um, chaotic albums in that sense. I like the first two a lot more than the third. Um, and from there, they kind of entered a bit more of a noise, industrial sort of. I'm terrible at describing noise projects 'cause I just don't know enough about it. But I don't know if it'd be considered power electronics, but it's a lot of like rhythmic static. It's not. Um,
It's like ambient.
yeah, there isn't any real metal element anymore.
Yeah.
Cassus Luciferi. Yes, same album title as the Watain album. Has some cool moments. There's a track called Inictu Oculi, which is has like a steady like thrumming throughout, and like an angelic sort of choir thing in the background. That's kind of a cool track. But by and large, it's not something I go to very often. Um, the demos in the first two albums are really what I love about Abruptum. So those would be the ones I recommend checking out. If you really want to hear what, like when Euronymous described Abruptum as the essence of pure black evil, you're talking about their first two albums, the ones on Deathlike Silence Productions.
Okay, I'll have to give those a re-listen. I have to say their logo is very cool.
And as my wife pointed out, the logo is actually a skull. And that blew my mind after staring at it for like 2 decades. She pointed that out. I'm like, oh my god, you're right. It's a skull.
I suppose it is. It's only like the top half of the skull. The jaw is missing.
Yeah, the jaw is missing, but you have like the two circles, which are the eyes, the inverted cross, which is the nose, and then you have just the rounded shape of the skull over top of it. It's
And the cheekbones.
yeah, and that completely like destroyed my mind. I'm like, what the fuck?
I
was
can
wearing-
get behind some of the more noisy black metal-ish. Well, the black metal influenced noise, I guess you can call it, whatever.
I wonder if you
Yeah.
Or noise influenced black metal.
feel like you
Oh,
might
dude.
like this band, Twort. Twort. The demo's called Seben Yuraz.
You're gonna have to send that to the group. There's no way I can spell that right now.
I think you'll like them if you give them a look on the Kives.
How do you spell their band name?
TCHORT from Russia.
Short. Okay, we got some Swazis. We got a couple goobers in like fucking trench coats.
Look at the album cover for Come Drink Pandemonium.
Come drink. Okay, it's a guy getting a blowjob. Very good. It's a black metal guy getting a blowjob. Okay, I'll check it out.
That never happens.
But the the demo from '99, that's the one I've listened to.
Wasn't there some live video where a black metal guy does get a blowjob? Was it Arcane and Faustus, I think?
No, I think it was the guys from Enthroned.
Oh, it might have been Enthroned. I don't... Have you
Awesome.
listened to this? Come drink shit? I don't see it on YouTube.
No, I haven't listened to that one, but I only listened to the demo. Seben Yuraz.
Let's see. Okay, Zevin Uraz is right here. I'll check this out. For show, 1998. Seems pretty cool. Somebody says, more, oi. Okay, check that out.
More oi.
Yeah, these guys aren't considered NS, even though they have swastikas. I think that's okay. I think you can use swastikas and totenkopfs, and you don't have to be an NS band, I think it's just okay to have cool symbols and things in your logos and artwork.
Yeah, when you're noise influenced, it don't matter.
Well, I think if you're black metal influence, it shouldn't matter at all. But I know there's like punk rock fag moms
Values,
that are out there. Yeah.
punk rock values.
Punk rock values, that's right. My punk rock values say no, no, no. Whatever. I don't have punk rock values. I do like some punk rock bands.
Says
Yeah. No, you know what's a good Christmas song? Punk rock band? I don't know if this is considered a punk rock band. The Kinks, Father Christmas. They're talking about like the Santas that collect money outside the store. They're talking
Hmm.
about beating him up and taking his money.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's punk.
yeah, Father Christmas. That's a good song. You like the Kinks? They have that song, "The Dedicated Follower of Fashion." It's just about some like European dandy who goes shopping at all the designer stores. I don't know what year that's from. Fucking 68 maybe. That's a good song. I don't know how people feel about 60s rock and roll, but I dig it. Especially if it's not blues sounding. And the Kinks, for the most part, or that song in general, isn't blues sounding.
Fred, Ozen band. What kind of genre is that?
Who?
Ozen band.
Oh,
Ozian.
shoegaze. It's like shoegaze.
Oh, okay. Shoegaze, honey bun.
Oh, Ozen. I don't know how it's pronounced. I think it's a play on
It's
ocean.
it's it, it's spelled like the way ocean is, but with a Z. Ozen Band is
Yeah.
the name of them. Let's see. Is she a honey bun? Let me see. Yeah, she's a honey bun. She's got a face. She's got the classic face. She's got a 60s face.
She's humanoid enough.
Yeah, she's a humanoid.
She does look very 60s. You're right. Oh, okay. Hang on.
Paul
Abrupt-
sigh and then think about black metal guys don't get blowjobs. Yeah.
Abruptum. I found the review I wrote on this. It was in an article I wrote, probably like 10 years ago, about 20 albums that got me into black metal or extreme metal. No, black metal. Um, so
Go
Anonymous
on.
called them the ideal essence of pure black evil. This is all the ingredients of black metal in their primordial state, yet not yet congealed into any coherent entity. Or maybe it's the other way around, black metal that broken loose from the boundaries of structured music to pure black chaos. Whatever the case, it was an insane listen, with some legitimately terrifying parts, as it didn't abruptly stop for a split second before coming back blaring twice as loud.
Saw what you did there.
Definitely love or hated album. Yeah, no, there's a terrifying part on that first album where whatever's happening just like suddenly stops and then suddenly fades in really quickly, twice as loud, and it scares the shit out of me every time.
It scares the shit out of Fred. It's gonna scare the shit out of the listeners.
Yeah.
And it'll probably scare me too. I imagine. I mean, I've heard Abruptum. I just it's so hard to retain that stuff,
Huh?
and so I just don't remember any of it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've listened to that album lots of times, and there are passages that I recognize and remember, but it always, since there's no real structure or order to it, it's hard to remember what part comes next.
Is Abruptum
Um,
basically like riffless on these albums? I mean, I honestly don't
yes,
remember.
yes,
Riffless.
basically completely riffless.
Okay.
For anyone interested in early Abruptum and wants a band that reproduces it pretty closely, one of Goat Prayer from Finland, one of his bands, Necromonarchia Demonum, the album they put out a few years ago called Anathema Darkness, is a very, very, very close homage to Abruptum. Very much worth listening to.
I typed that in when you said it, and I found it. I I had to think of it. Necromonarchia Demonum.
Yep.
Okay, Zool in the Name of Mayhem.
Very good, brother.
There's another one, a British band called Extinction, and they released an EP called The Black Hex, and that one is very cool, very Abruptum,
Black Hex.
and that's why I got such middling scores on Metal Archives. It's so
So
Just
good.
like Abruptum, it's so take it or leave it, love it or hate it. It's just it is. Yeah, look, one person, not 22%. Next person, 91%. If you like it, you like it. If you don't,
Bye bye.
stay away.
When I was listening to the Radio Free Innsmouth episode on Children of Iljarn, the last band that he brought up, I don't remember what they were called, but he said it's like it's Iljarn worship, but it's got this production that's like like noise or just noise music, I guess. But they're all riffs in there, and that reminded me of a band that me and Paul were in contact with at some point. They were called Southern Spear. If you look that up, you'll find the demo.
Huh.
I think they had two, one in 16 and one in 17. Both of them were really good. They got weird production in a very like lo-fi way, but it's cool shit. It's like stompy, oi, Iljarn, Bonal stuff. It's cool. I just wanted to bring them up.
Interesting.
Check out Southern Spear. They had a couple cassettes. I think they fit the bill.
I think the best Ildron worship I've heard is still Ode Legger, the guy from Bill Skinner.
Yeah, that was brought up too. I think on both episodes he did the Children of Iljarn episode and then another Bill Skinner episode.
Yeah, revisited.
Yeah, Bill Skinner revisited. That's right.
I've mentioned Brock and Brock before, I'm sure, but it's such a stupid and bizarre band. 3 tracks of stupidly long songs. I think they're like 11 minutes each. And they're similar to Iljarn in that it's just like one repetitive riff for the entire track. But they're slow. They're like mid-paced, and there's no vocals. It's just instrumental, and it's just bizarre. And I remember like the one review I was able to find of it. I think it was on Chronicles of Chaos or something, um, or what was that other one? Anyways, it basically says that it principally refuses to assign a rating to it because it's so bizarre. I think they hang on. Did they wind up putting that on Metal Archives? Yeah, they did. Here we go. The review wound up on Metal Archives. Oh, there we go. Originally published in Volcom Conquest. Not Chronicles of Chaos. It was. Hang on. Where do they phrase it?
I with it, man.
As of now, I can merely place it.
Today, Junior.
As of now, I can merely place it in the idiot savant neighborhood and principally refuse to assign it a rating, and just gave it 50%.
Idiot savant. I think that's what they used to call autistic people before they knew, or before they had the term for it. He's an idiot
Yes,
savant.
and this, yeah, this fits.
Yeah, any of you kids out there haven't seen the movie Rain Man? It's a classic for the Gen Zers or not or the Gen Xers. What's that? That's a funny autistic movie. That's like the portrayal of autism in the '80s. Fred, did you ever see that movie Rain Man?
Oh, like ages ago, decades ago.
It's pretty entertaining. I like it. That's the one where he says "hot water burn baby." Hot water burn baby.
Remember in Family Guy?
Dustin Hoffman?
No, but Peter's like, got it. It's the guy from Big. Tom Hanks, funny guy. Everything he says is a riot. I have AIDS.
I have AIDS. I think there was another Tom Hanks reference in Family Guy where they're like playing one of those games on like the movie theater. It's like guess the actor. He goes, "Oh, the name on the tip of my tongue, Tim Honks."
Tim Honks.
I like Tim Honks. That's pretty good. I was gonna bring up one more thing. God, it's slipping my mind. I can't exactly remember what the fuck it was. Southern Spear and God, God, what the hell was I had something right on the tip of my brain I was gonna spew out. I can't remember what it was. Damn it.
Damn it, Dan.
God, what was it? It was something important. What the fuck was it?
Oh, probably about the album we're going to talk about, right?
Oh, it was before we get to that, there was like one last thing that I had that I wanted to spew out.
Paul
And I
just
think
gently
Southern
moving
Spirit
things
made me
along.
think of it. I know, I'm just trying to I'm only trying to
Paul's like, hurry up. We don't have all day.
Oh shit, I don't remember. I guess it's gone. Alright, brain restart.
I'm about to make myself retarded.
I just made myself retarded, exactly. Generic deli food? Yummy shit!
You lost me on that one.
Ugh, what's that?
I said you lost me on that one.
Yeah, I know. Okay, more stupid Sam Hyde references, alright?
All right. What are we
All
doing
right.
here? What'd you bring for us?
What are we doing?
For the first time in forever, I brought you black metal. I just remember. I think remember during the pandemic, where there was like some guy singing a Disney song. He's like, "For the first time in forever," and he's talking about like socializing with his friends. It's like some stupid millennial.
Yep.
And then there was that other guy. Paul, you may remember this guy. During the pandemic, he had that epic song. It was like some autist guy with like a mask on, and he has these little cue cards, and he's singing Mr. Sandman, but it's Mr. Fauci, bring us vaccines. You remember that?
I think so, yeah.
Help all the people who have been quarantined. Okay. It's a really funny video. I'll have to send it to you guys. Don't let me forget.
That's funny.
Fauci. Yeah, he goes, yes. Anyways, okay, yeah. For the first time in, I don't, this isn't the first black metal that I brought on, or maybe it is. The last time I brought on black metal was like what, Trifane or something?
Yeah.
That was the last time, and that barely counts because that's like new school shit. Okay, well, I finally have some old shit. 1996 split between German bands Ravenclaw and Nightwolf.
Harry Potter bands.
Yes, Ravenclaw was one of the
The houses.
one of the unspoken houses. Yeah, it was Ravenclaw and then Hufflepuff. Imagine being a member of Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff. But yeah, this is a conspiracy against Christianity. I didn't. Okay, so when I found this, it was I don't actually know how long ago it was. It must have been near 10 years ago when I found. It wasn't the split that I found. It was only the Nightwolf side, and I remembered it from all the years ago that like I found it, but I could never remember what the fucking name of the band was. Like Austin said with Necrolatry. I had to think. I'm like, is it Wolves Night? Is it Wolf Lord? Is it Night Lane? Well, I didn't know what it was. I eventually found it, Night Wolf. But I had only heard their side, and I thought it was pretty good. I found it from a channel that I don't think is on YouTube anymore. It was called like Cosmic Serpent, I think. And at that time, I had found the Dungeon Synth Project, Serpent's Isle. I found that weird Swedish band Evercon. I think I discovered like the early Take stuff, like pre-Take shit, where he's holding like the farmer's pitchfork. So I found a bunch of like raw black European stuff that was pretty much just like I don't think I had ever really delved into black metal demos before maybe like 10 years ago. And I guess it was kind of the same with like death metal stuff. It wasn't until maybe 2013 14 that I was like, oh, death metal demos, that's new. I think I was just an album guy. And you go, whoa, demos, cool. I'm underground now. That's what you say.
And then that's all you listen to, and all you tell people to listen to.
Demos?
Yeah.
Well, some of the demo stuff, like J Dog, he knows it's some of the best stuff.
Do you
But
concur,
yeah,
Fred?
Huh?
So you concur?
Yeah, generally.
it is. I think it's some of the best stuff. But yeah, Ravenclaw. It's funny. The band names are kind of almost like code names that kids would use. Like my name's Ravenclaw. Yeah, well I'm Nightwolf, dude.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking Julian. Dude, just call
You're
me
thinking of
Wolf.
Julian. Just call
Or
me
some,
Wolf. Yeah,
or
call me
just
Nightwolf.
a covert drug operation. Operation Ravenclaw.
Yeah, Ravenclaw, Nightwolf. I don't know if you guys noticed this. I think I already told Paul, but look at that album cover. It's the Ungrateful Blessing. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we used that album cover, and so did Dan Swano with his Infested demo. He used the same album art.
If it's free, it's
Um,
free. Sorry.
yeah, I guess going back and listening to Nightwolf, it's pretty like it's got a cool, epic, melancholic thing going to it. And as far as I can tell, you guys can maybe correct me on this, but this seems like one of the earliest instances of like this type of epic or straight up melancholic type of black metal, like almost approaching DSBM at some points. And then Ravenclaw was basically I didn't realize this was a split when I heard it, and I only recently found out this was a split. But I listened to the whole thing maybe about a month or two ago, and
Okay.
Ravenclaw I thought was pretty cool. I actually liked it. I think I like both of these sides equally. Maybe I even like the Ravenclaw side better. Um, but with Ravenclaw, it's actually the dude. I don't know if you guys caught this either. It's the vocalist of Moonblood doing his own solo project.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if Fred was familiar with this or not.
I was.
You were familiar
Um,
with Ravenclaw. Were you familiar with this
yeah.
split?
I know I've heard it at some point, but I think I've largely forgot the Nightwolf side because I'm basically a Moonblood fanboy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, the Moonblood sound is really prevalent in this, and even the track "I Held the Night" gets reused in Moonblood material. Or actually, I don't know if it came in, if it was used in this first or in Moonblood after. Um, in any case, there's a Moonblood track called "I Hail the Night" as well. So I think it was on the Blood and Craig album first. In any case,
Okay, well, I guess I assume that both of these bands kind of sound like Moonblood, in some way or another. But where Nightwolf kind of they
not
kind of
Blood
go
and Craig.
like
Sorry,
epic.
the Decibel Mega Split. Sorry, I'm just like
Oh,
confusing
okay.
myself. Yeah,
Yeah,
decals.
Nightwolf kind of goes in the like more epic territory, and Ravenclaw seems to be. Ravenclaw is kind of weird. It's hard to pinpoint. Ravenclaw almost reminds me of like Absurd or like Countess. It's like really fucking primitive. But I would
Mm.
say both of these things are really primitive, but Ravenclaw is like pretty fucked up sounding. But I think
I
it's
found
cool.
I found that the Ravenclaw side, there's some parts that even sound very, I would talk about them, but very Ildjarn like. Um,
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
like what was that track? I think it was uh, maybe Necromancy. I think it was. I don't remember. In any case, there was one part in as I was into it again, going, I'm just thinking this is a lot more simplistic and Ildjarny than I remember.
Yeah, when I heard this, maybe like a month or two ago, when I was like giving the full thing a listen, just because I was like, maybe I'll put this on the show, maybe not. Um, I felt like this is something that people should hear and people should know about because I was actually digging it pretty well.
Hmm.
Um, I forget exactly where I was going with this here. You basically get like an album from each of these bands here on the split. It's a long fucking thing. It's like an hour long.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
long split.
and for the most part, both bands are pretty like each of their songs kind of has its own identity. There's like not really the same exact thing. Maybe for the Ravenclaw side, there is a little bit of the same thing going on, but they switch it up enough where it keeps it actually interesting. And I feel like listening to it and talking about it is kind of going to be an interesting thing. But
Yeah.
if I can, I'll make a little assumption here. I will say, Fred, you probably thought this was okay, and Paul, you probably didn't care for this too much. Am I right with these assumptions?
I
Just
think you
made
didn't
a
go far enough in my direction. I actually really like
Hmm.
this.
I do
And
too. I think
again,
it's
not
really good.
it's not surprising because I'm a Moonblood fanboy and everything connected to Moonblood, whether it's um, Gamal Zagoth's projects, so obviously Azakul, which just ended not too long ago, and this and what was it, Cabaret for Bereaved, which is kind of a weird one. I think he just only did vocals on that, um, and Occulta Morris's stuff with Nachtfalk, which I really like too.
Oh yeah, that is
Um,
good stuff. That kind of Vikingish band.
yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
just total Bathory worship the entire way through.
Well, yeah, you get a
But
little bit of that on this album too, with both sides. Honestly, you there's some ideas here that I feel like predate a few things, and honestly, the 1996, this is actually pretty impressive to me. The amount of ideas and things that come out here, I really dig it.
the feeling I get from Ravenclaw, and this is gonna sound derogatory, but it's not. But it feels like a dumbed down Moonblood. Like it's you can still very much hear um, his main band in this,
Yeah,
but it's very very simplistic. His vocals are fairly distinctive. They always have been, especially in Moonblood. But it just sounds like a very very primitive form of Moonblood.
you know
I
what?
don't know if
We're
he went
gonna
into
have
it
to get
intentionally
in
doing that,
depth.
but
We're gonna have to get in depth with Moonblood, after I hear Paul's spiel here.
oh baby,
well, he made a ass out of you and me
How's
because
that?
you thought I wasn't
oh
gonna like it. You
Um,
assumed, boy.
I assumed you wouldn't care for this too much.
No, I picked up a copy. No, I'm just
You
kidding.
did? No, you can't. I looked. You can't find this.
I got it. I got it. No, I did like the Nightwolf side a bit better. Ravenclaw, it's gonna be one of our shirt sayings. It sounded a bit Greek to me.
You
Actually,
think so?
yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? Ravenclaw is. I think anything that sounds Greek is like bizarre. The Greek sound is just bizarre. But I don't know that this band exactly has the Greek sound. But you might be actually onto something there. Uh, I was looking at. Hold on one
But
second.
then, yeah, when I saw, I was like, oh, okay, split. All right, it's gonna be like 20 minutes. I'm like, fuck an
nope,
hour.
That's an hour.
nope.
I don't have that kind of time, man.
So I'm looking at the Ravenclaw demo from the same year. On the side, he says, "What does he say?" He says, "Ravenclaw is heavy metal, the black way." That's the quote.
That's
Also,
not surprising because Moonblood as well never uh, hid their inspiration of old metal, right? And like that was kind of exemplified in their cover of The Trooper from Iron Maiden, and that got a lot of flack, I guess, because the vocals are comical, but they weren't afraid to wear their influences on their sleeves, and it reminds me of like back in like the 90s 2000s when there was much more of a, I guess, re- kind of a rebellion. I don't know if rebellion is the right word, but people who listened to black metal kind of recoiled at the idea of uh, non black metal influences in black metal.
That's
But the
not right.
fact is,
Heavy metal
well,
is
yeah,
the
that's
main
that's
influence.
exactly, and that's the thing. Like you'd see, like Emperor doing Merciful Fate covers. You'd have Dissection wearing Angel Witch shirts. Like that was their bread and butter, and that's what spawned these bands to begin with. But
Yeah, even the
I
Norwegians
don't know if
talk
it was
about
just
that. They're
I
like,
don't know
"Oh,
if it was
we're
just
going
my
back to." Yeah, they're like, "Oh, we're going back to Motorhead." Like, forget this death metal
yeah,
stuff.
and I don't know if it was just my interpretation, but like when I started listening to black metal in the early 2000s, 2000, 2001, around there, that was the impression that I got.
Damn.
That whenever people brought up a black metal band with uh, a lot of heavy metal influence, or if people spoke about heavy metal in relation to black metal, it's kind of like, no. But like it's stupid.
Yeah, with that little quote being said, the Ravenclaw is heavy metal, the black way. I'll let you finish, Paul. We cut you off a little bit, but you left off on Ravenclaw sounding Greek, and I think we went on a little bit of tangent there.
Mm.
Yeah, I think like what you were saying, Fred. It's like kind of more of like a simple version of it, and that's what I kind of associate with some of the earlier like Greek releases, where it's just like very heavy and black metal influence, but also just played in such a primitive way, like more so like Verathron in that regard.
Mm.
But yeah, Nightwolf, what you were saying about it being like just epic and shit, I think that's what kind of drew me more towards that side because it was like,
Yeah,
catchy.
that's what made me pick this originally. I'd only heard the Nightwolf side. I didn't even know this is a split for a long time.
Also, R.I.P.
I
Celtic
think the
Moon.
Nightwolf side was released independently, like it was on its released on its own and then compiled into this split.
The Nightwolf, that's like the split is the only thing that they have.
Yeah, but I could be wrong, but I could have sworn they released this separately.
No, no, they didn't.
Oh, never mind.
But
Nightwolf, it says recorded and mixed in hell.
yeah, so I guess this is like a part of a little black metal circle that was
Oh, you
like,
know what? Maybe I'm thinking of the guy's other project. 'Cause I think no, I was just saying the guy was also in Celtic Moon, and Celtic Moon had a split, and that demo is, or that split had their only demo on it, so
Mm,
it's confusing like
right,
that.
right. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking so what is it? Two guys that are in Moonblood? Is that what it is?
There were two guys in Moonblood, yeah, and only one of them was in, one of those two was in Ravenclaw.
Yeah, that was the
Uh,
vocalist. So the vocalist did all his stuff, own shit with Ravenclaw in like the early or the late '90s, '96 to or '95 and '96, and that was about it.
yeah,
Um,
Gamal Zagoth, yeah.
yeah, and there's quite a few of these little projects in those years, '95 and '96. You have the Celtic Moon one '96. You have let's see, what else do we have here? This the other guy was in a bunch of shit. The vocalist of what's his name? Gamel Zagoth. He was in Azul and Cabaret for the Bereaved and some other bands that aren't listed. But
Yeah. Have you ever heard Azakul?
yeah, I did. It's quite noisy stuff. It's kind of interesting.
It's so that first demo they did, Arrival of the Demon Lord, is pretty cool, but the one that really like made me think a lot was Horned Furies, and that was released I think in like 2010 or so.
Was it
But the
recorded around there?
no, that's the thing. So it was recorded in the very early 2000s, um, and it sounds exactly like where Moonblood left off with Taste Our German Steel and Dusk Will Rot and those sort of things. Uh, to the point that I'm almost convinced that that consists of leftover Moonblood material that they never actually got to finish. Um, and Moonblood um, has 13 rehearsal tapes that are well known and are now reissued. But a couple of years ago, um, Occulta Morse shared a photo on Facebook of the Moonblood rehearsal tapes, and there were 15. And no one knows what's on those last two. Um, and I remember on the 13th rehearsal, the last two tracks are instrumental, almost got the impression they didn't get a chance to finish them, and Gamal Zagoth eventually did finish them and added the vocals and put them on the split with whoever the fuck. Uh, got, it was they called it the Unholy, but anyways. Um, so I feel like those two last rehearsals are instrumental and never got finished. Point being, I think material from those wound up on Horned Furies. Anyways, that's a huge tangent. Sorry. Back to Ravenclaw.
Um, Paul, did you have anything else to say for your opening words about this split here?
No.
Okay, I wanted to get into this. So Moonblood, uh, I know they're legendary band, but
hmm
the only thing I'd ever really heard from them was the Krieg. That was it.
hmm
Hmm. First
And
album.
a lot of the rehearsals are very different. At least like in the early days, they're like
Yeah.
really kind of it's so strange. It's like the most primitive heavy metal that you can get. It's really interesting. So I'm like
Yeah.
super new to this. I had to during this week I like went back and listened to a bunch of the shit and even Taste Our German Steel, which is like a
Yeah.
little bit later. But what can you say about Moonblood, dude? Like since I'm just not familiar with them.
Yeah, because I'm guessing
I'm
it's.
basically not familiar with them.
I'm
Are you,
guessing
Paul?
it's. Yeah, I've only listened to that first album too, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a bit
yeah.
intimidating with how many releases they have. But Fred, I suppose that's your what second favorite band besides Bathory?
Uh, they're up there. I like Moonblood a lot. Um, I think the best way to go is to ignore the rehearsals when you're starting out. Go for the albums, um, and once you've heard, so I am generally of the opinion that Moonblood got better as they went on. I love the early stuff, but I think when I think of Moonblood, I think of the sound on Taste Our German Steel, which is a faster paced but still very fantastical sounding. Um, and the tracks they have on the split with Deathspell Omega and the split with Catharsis, which is the same recording session, just split up into two different releases. Um, so, long story short, if you're going to listen to Moonblood, your go tos are obviously the two albums. The Winter Falls Over the Land, which is their 95 demo that was actually studio recorded. And then the splits. So you have their split with Nima, another German band, and that one of the members of that band went on to form Iron Bonehead, Patrick.
Ah,
Split with Asaku, split with Inferno, Deathspell Omega, split with Catharsis, and the split cassette with Evil. Fuck Peace, We're at War. Uh, those are the ones you really want to go to. Once you've gotten into those and appreciate Moonblood for what it is, then start digging into the rehearsals because for the most part, the rehearsals are, especially later on, are
The
tracks that
best.
wound up on the albums and splits anyways. So there are some tracks in there that didn't show up anywhere else, but they're very rough, they're very raw, and I love that about them. But I'd say by and far the bulk of their best material wound up on the proper releases. But um, speaking to that heavy metal influence, those rehearsals are where you see all the covers that never really made it to anywhere else. So I mentioned the Iron Maiden cover earlier. They also have a Witchfinder General cover. They have a Sepultura cover of Antichrist. So like a lot of that early metal influence comes out a lot more in those rehearsals because they just throw covers in here and there, and they're really cool. I think most of the covers wind up on the later um, rehearsals. I know they had a Manowar cover in there somewhere as well. They did Bathory fairly famously. They did Bloodfire Death, and I think they did Enter the Eternal Fire. Um, but yeah, they don't. they don't hide their influences at all, and it's really cool to hear them pay homage to those on those rehearsal tapes. But that's kind of
Yes.
my spiel about Moonblood.
Yeah, so for the for like where Moonblood gets sound, what do you compare this to like with other early German black metal bands? Is there anything that's really comparable to this?
In the German scene,
Because I would say no.
I yeah, not really, because like I they kind of flew in the circles of well, they did fly in the circles of the Somber Records um, label, and I think you would have better luck comparing them to bands like Judas Iscariot and Maniac Butcher, maybe Countess, um, Catharsis, early Catharsis too. Um, that's probably the only German band I would really compare them closely to.
Yeah, I don't quite
Um,
remember what the I don't know. I don't know if I've ever heard the early Catharsis stuff.
oh yeah, it's 666 and Crucifixion.
Ju
Um, it's basically under a funeral moon worship,
Okay.
but really, really well done. And they kind of went super chaotic with World Without End.
Yeah, that one's a bit different. That one's more like fucking sadistic execution or something.
Yeah, it's a wild album. Honestly, I like that one more than pretty much anything Sadistic Execution did. I
Yeah,
never
that
really super got into them, but
yeah,
I
that
like
that's
them and I
that's again
appreciate them.
like
But
part of the aesthetic or just the vibe that I love from certain black metal bands where they kind of take everything that's cool and shove it into their album or their own music.
yeah, but yeah, no, I don't think there's aside from some parts of Catharsis, I don't think there's a ton of super directly comparable German bands. Like I'd say, I'd go closer to like Judas Iscariot and Countess, that
Yeah,
sort of
because
thing.
with like I kind of understand the Judas Iscariot comparison because what I always felt that Judas Iscariot did is the same thing that like White Wolf's Commando did, where they take basically every style of black metal that exists at the time and kind of put their own spin on it. Like it's super varied, Judas Iscariot. Like it's pretty simplistic, but it is varied. And I would
Mm,
say the same thing about Moonblood as far as it comes to like newcomer shit. The only thing like that's weird about me to the Bluten Krieg album is that one seems a little bit more like the same. It's kind of mid-paced
yeah,
Graveland in a way or something.
yeah. Blood Krieg is. I kind of see that album a little weirdly because I find they have a very distinctive sound through most of their discography, but Blood Krieg sounds very normal black metal. Um, and I don't know what it is about it because a lot of those tracks were on the rehearsals and first demo. Um, maybe it's the production, I don't know, but it sounds a lot softer and I don't know if approachable is the right word, but it's not as harsh as most Moonblood. When you compare to Blut Krieg to the second album, Taste Our German Steel, that has a much sharper guitar tone. It's much more fast paced right off the bat, and it's not as welcoming. Whereas Blut Krieg kind of like draws you in with a fairly lengthy introduction and then a slow guitar riff, and like you said, a lot of mid paced stuff in there. So, uh, yeah, when it comes to Moonblood, I tend to gravitate more towards the faster paced stuff, which I think is more towards the later part of their career. Um, one of the really, really best riffs they did was um, the split with Inferno and the track they have on there called Kingdom Under Funeral Skies. Um, that riff and the one on the split with Catharsis, which is Supreme Black Forces of Steel. Those kind of riffs are the ones that feel like they tell stories just without even it does the vocals don't even to start yet, and you can just hear a story coming out of it, and it not a lot of bands pull that off.
I'll have to look into those because yeah, I didn't get to any of the splits. I listened to a bunch of the rehearsals and the full lengths. But
Yeah, it's easy to get lost in all the rehearsals,
yeah, there's a
but
lot of stuff in there.
And Fred,
the
you got me tearing up over here over Moonblood.
there you go. No, but I think the one of the best ways to go is a lot of their best tracks wound up on splits, and most of their splits just had one or two tracks. I think the major exception to that is the Decibel Omega split, which I think was three or four tracks, and the Evil split, which was a cassette, so it had three or four tracks as well. But like if you take the split with again Catharsis, the one with Inferno, the one with Nima, I think the one with Saku as well is only one track. Those like one tracks are fantastic. Like they really nailed those splits with like just one incredible song. And although the Inferno and Catharsis ones are my favorites, the Asaku and Nima splits are almost as good. And again, just one track that just kind of gives you everything you need to know about Moonblood in a nutshell.
Right. Well, I have a track picked out on the Ravenclaw side. Is there any that you two guys can come to agreement on that we can listen to a track here?
Which one do you have in mind?
I have track 5.
Yeah, I like that name.
White Pigeons Fly Nevermore?
Mm-hmm. That one's very different.
It is. Yeah, let's start with that one.
Okay, yeah, and then maybe we can go with track 6 or 7 or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm happy with either of those. Throwing a Fire is really cool too.
What was that, Paul? I heard you mumble over there.
I said, yeah, yeah.
Okay, very good.
It's being encouraging.
Okay, so let's check out this this very odd track. I don't even know how you would explain this. This is almost some kind of this is almost an interlude track, but it goes on for a long time.
Yes.
But I
All
think it's
right.
cool. I think it really represents black metal in a I don't want to say comical way because the way this is produced sounds very ancient, and I think that's something that I like about this.
Yes.
All right, well, we'll be right back.
Skies darken, rains mighty, black, sunless, dark shadow, and the years are coming back. Centuries you're lost in the fall of the past. From the fall of eternity they're coming. Rises out of the coward and pictures in the sky. Age and
Alright, guys, done crying. We're back.
The Garrett's in the sky.
No, good song.
That's such a cool track.
Well, that's the thing. Like, none of the other tracks on this sound like that. That's so fucking weird. It sounds
No.
like, Fred, you're right. It does sound like a Manowar track, but God, that it's basically like a heavy metal ballad, but it's one of those black metal kind of like. Who else does anything like that? I think maybe like
Countess.
Soulsphere has like tracks like that in their early days.
It does sound like it could be a Countess track to me. Like it's very. Orlok was never afraid of. Well, again, integrating those heavy metal influences in his music, so I think those came through on a lot of Countess tracks. But just in that, the clean guitar is played on this. It reminds me of that track on the Azubam Hani demo on a snowy winter night. The track called "Where Death Has Reared Itself a Throne," and that track's like 5 minutes long, but like over half of that is just a clean guitar, kind of like on this one, with what's his face screaming over it, and it's very moody, very ancient sounding, kind of like this one, but it's this is a great track. It's such a you're right. It feels like an interlude, but it's not like half-assed atmospheric attempt. Like it is a full and proper song, but it does
It's
feel like
basically
it's like
one
a
riff.
yeah, but it still feels like a fully thought out song, not just an atmospheric afterthought.
You know, I mentioned that the artwork is something that we use. Paul, I don't know if this is. Remember that track that we did, the Between Seas and Silent Dreams? It sort of kind of reminds me of that, where it's like one
Yeah.
slower kind of like poetry track.
Yeah.
Well, I got that idea from the band. God, what were they called? It was one of the Greek bands. Havorum was the name of the band. On their demo, they had like some little track like that. But yeah, Fred's got the Abzuham Hani, and I think one of the other tracks that I can compare this to is like Soul Saphir, Lady in Black.
Mm.
I think that one might be from like late '90s or something. But I really like the idea of a black metal, heavy metal ballad, because like we discussed, earlier, that this band is considered a heavy metal band, but like blackened, or the black way. He said the black way. I really like the idea of a, I really like the idea of a black metal ballad. There's something about that seems way more black metal than anything, and I guess how old this is, you could be like, oh, this is a super cult thing. It's like, yeah, it is, but at the same time, it's got this kind of RAC, weird punk, super primitive kind of heavy metal thing to it. That's really cool. We started off with the ballad, but yeah, we'll see what these guys are actually doing next. Did you say the next track is a Moonblood track?
I Hail the Night is used in Moonblood. I don't remember if the riff. It's hard to tell because it's so rough on this, but I'm not sure if the riff is the same or if they just reused the song title.
Yeah, Paul, did you have anything to say about that track before we venture in?
Yeah, a couple things. It's kind of like I don't really hear any black metal like this where it's like really, really, really moody. And what I usually hear in black metal is something more like hateful or just like anger straight up. But this one was just like, I don't even know. Like,
This one. He's like staring at the moon out in the woods, and he's just kind of thinking.
yeah. So it was cool to hear. It wasn't so one dimensional, or black metal doesn't have to be so one dimensional.
Yeah, and again, this is kind of the weird track that we picked first.
Yeah.
Should we go with track 6 or 7? An everlasting fire burns our souls. What do you think?
I say Hail the Night. Let's try and remember if this is actually a Moonblood track or not, because I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm sure it's super primitive because the whole I remember the whole Ravenclaw side is super primitive.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Well, we'll do I Hail the Night, and we'll be right back. Alright, we're back from that.
The most
From
primitive,
that.
the most primitive one-man project I think I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's like your homie's like, oh, I got a fucking one man project, and you hear this, you're like,
And
okay,
it's
that's
like
what I expected.
it's like doom ding doom ding doom ding doom ding 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 doom doom dum 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 ding 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 ding
Let
ding
bro
ding ding
cook.
ding 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 ding. Yeah, it's got like it does kind of have heavy metal isms in it. It's got like that chuggy part, but it's like that's super catchy. And then it has the one-footed blast is like, oh yeah, I can. I forgot I have doubles. It's like tick tick.
But then it's just stompy like German black metal too.
Like what German black metal would you say is the stompy stuff?
Mm, you'd say like Bill Skinner and who else?
Yeah, Bill Skinner's pretty stompy.
But just like that stuff that's like really like punk influence on the drums, and you can hear that on just like I think towards the end of the track it was like do do got do 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 got do 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 got do 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 ding ding.
You know,
And,
if you
Kind of
really want
reminds
to
me of
draw
the shittiest like Brazilian bands like Command or something.
remember when we did Dawnfall like
yeah,
months ago?
Yeah.
I could see a little bit of comparison to that. Not that they necessarily influenced each other, but that was really raw and surprisingly first wave in its approach, even though it sounded very second wave. But the uh, the track uses the same lyrics as the Moonblood track. Um, uh, but I don't think it's the same track. It's really
It
raw.
can be. Moonblood when like in 1997. I don't think they would do a track that sounds like this.
It's only a year later, right? But
Yeah.
like it's the version or the track on the split with Deathspell is so much cleaner and more refined that's almost hard. If it is at the very least heavily reworked, um, and they might have kept elements of it, but it's musically by and large a very different song. But the lyrics are identical.
Well, I would say with the Ravenclaw side, this is extremely. It's probably the most primitive thing you're ever gonna hear, and I'm super hard. I'm super like I'm trying to think of anything
someone
that's.
clip that.
I'm super hard. I'm super hard. No, I really can't think of any bands that sound anything like this. This is the weirdest, just like it's shitty, but I like it. It's really kind of shitty, but I think it's cool. When I first heard it, I was like, "This is definitely gonna go on the show because it's just so cool."
Well, the production is terrible, and the
Well,
execution,
the music, yeah, the
as in
musicianship isn't very
the
good either.
yeah, the playing isn't fantastic, but the elements are there, right? Like it's still very black metal, but the desire to like include so much of that first wave and trad metal in there gives it some very interesting flair.
Yeah,
And
was
the
that the
execution
epic
might not
part
be up
where it
to
goes
par,
ding
but
ding 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 ding? Was that like the epic melody? I don't. I
oh,
guess
Hell yeah.
that's total like Manowar shit, right?
that's an interesting take on Manowar.
I'm not saying Manowar performed like that, but I could see him trying to incorporate some more epic Manowarisms by doing those weird guitar licks.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing you could compare this to, like Countess, is in their early days they were pretty fucked up sounding, but not quite like this. This is like a very special type of fucked up.
Oh, I don't know, man. Like, have you heard?
I've heard
Return.
all the Countess stuff, even like
Yeah,
the
because
first two demos.
Return of the yeah, those were a different band, but like Return of the Horned One, that the sound on that is fucked, absolutely fucked. Book of the Heretic 2, that's really really bass heavy, so it basically sounds like a Motorhead album almost. But Return of the Horned One is one of the most obtuse sounding albums I've ever heard. It's such a bizarre sound. That and again the Dawnfall album. That's such a weird sounding, thin, raw album. Uh, it doesn't have like the echoey demo-ness of this Ravenclaw stuff, but it's it's not good. Production, I mean.
Did you hear me sneeze?
I did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this Ravenclaw stuff is almost unspeakable. It's like an unearthed like you weren't supposed to find this. How dare you find
Yeah,
it?
this is like a diary entry.
Diarrhea?
This is a diarrhea entry. No, but I do like the Ravenclaw side. I like both sides, and I think that they're it's a really good dynamic that these two bands have. One's super ugly and just like a retard, and the other one's
This is probably what This is probably what J Dog thinks all the Cavolt shit sounds like.
sounds like fucking shit, brah, brah.
Fucking terrible.
You
Well-
think that's a tune scheme? Dim, 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 dim.
Yeah, but what do you make of this side, or at least these two tracks that we've listened to here, Paul? Do you like it? Do you what is it deplorable? Because I think it's cool. It's definitely got its Cavolt points.
No, I think it's cool just because I haven't heard anything like it, and
Yeah, I think it's different.
Like-
It's especially for '96. This has a weird fucking feel to it.
like I can't even say that this is like first wave.
No, not it's definitely second wave. It doesn't feel anything like first wave. It sounds more like the most retarded punk metal you've ever heard. But it almost doesn't feel punk. Like it's got the black metal thing going on like in spurts. Like it's pure
Yeah, it's
black
funny.
metal in a weird
It's
way.
funny that you said it's like the vocalist band, the
Yeah,
vocalist
this is
from
the
Moonblood.
vocalist of Moonblood, but this is him doing all his own, and you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell this is a vocalist doing everything.
He's like, yeah, on the resume it's like, yeah, multi instrumentalist, and it's like, all right, let's hear your shit.
It's like, damn it.
No, but there's something.
I love
Do
stuff
that.
like that. Yeah, I think so too. There's something to
It's funny because
somebody who can barely play their instrument. It's cool.
we were talking about black noise and stuff. It sounds like a project like that, stripped of all of its like noise aspects. Almost.
Yeah, and this guy managed to go 30 minutes doing this stuff, and even that black metal like ballad that we heard before, totally different, but that worked, and that had a great atmosphere to it. And I think the other tracks on the Ravenclaw side kind of have a very specific thing going on that you're really not going to hear anywhere else besides on like right here. And 96, it is impressive to me that this fucked up thing even exists. I like it.
Well, let's go to that side then.
All right. Yeah, the Nightblood side. So we'll go from the ugly retard to the slightly more sophisticated, beautiful, what can we even call this? Misunderstood gent known as Nightwolf.
Yeah, R.I.P. Celtic Moon.
Is Fred here? Where is he? I don't hear him.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, there you are.
All right. Did you have a song in mind?
I had a song in mind. Do you guys mind if we play track 2, Twilight of the Night?
Dusk.
I'm down for it.
Dusk.
Cool.
Yeah, this is the one that I really dug when I first heard these guys.
All right.
Put Dusk in brackets. Twilight of the Night, in case you're not aware. That's called Dusk.
All right. Well, we'll be right back. All right, we're back from Dusk. What a good song. Something that you'd expect to hear on a demo tape, but a little bit more ahead of its time with the sort of melodic ideas that it has going on.
It
And yeah.
actually might be. Yeah.
Oh, what was that
Yeah,
one band that you talked about? It's like Vornat or something like that.
yeah, Vornat.
Weren't they doing
Vornat from
that sort of
Finland.
thing?
Yeah,
And it was like
Vornat had
'96 too.
yeah, same year. It's one of the earliest things that I can find that has
Like that Franco
more
Finnish
more
sound.
more or less the French Finnish kind of not evil sound. It's like the epic almost welcoming black metal sound. That's like one of the first things that I can find. And that Nightwolf song definitely has that feel to it almost the whole way through. Or there's a few evil riffs in there, but the main one is like the really epic kind of emotional one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the other ones that I could find that was like somewhat the same. Let's see. It was a band called Aski from Finland. Do you guys know who that is?
ASKE?
Yeah.
Yeah, Goatfuck and Satan Legio are awesome demos.
Does Goatfuck have kind of epic Finnish sounding riffs in it?
I think so.
Because I heard a rehearsal from 1995 that like almost has it, but not quite.
I think
I think
they developed it a bit more at that point.
yeah, but I think that was like one of my main things about Moonblood and Nightwolf is like by 1996, most black metal either. Let's see. Okay, so what the fuck was even going on in these times? You had the Polish stuff, which sounded kind of like Viking music put onto guitars, right? Graveland, Velis, what have you. And then you had like the Russian shit, Branicol, that still had kind of the Viking stuff, but that was I don't know, more vast, right? Didn't have
Radical.
it has the epic feel, but not the way the Finnish and French stuff did.
They hadn't developed the Viking sound in Branical yet in '96. They were
Oh,
still in like the Kveldov sort of era till like the 98, 9. I think it was around like 98, 99 they started getting more of a Viking feel to it.
I think
yeah. So
out of everything that was contemporary to this, and maybe even a little older, would maybe some of like the more established bands in the LLN.
like the only band that I can think of that has melodies like that is Vlad Tepes.
Yeah, the only one I was thinking of really.
That's the only one that has melodies like that. Like Mutilation doesn't really have melodies like that.
No,
They
they have
kind
more
of
of the string skipping ones.
yeah. They have a bunch of like
Pick
picking
chords, yeah.
around. Um, yeah, I don't think there is anything else besides Vlad Tepes,
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy because Vlad Tepes what? When do they have like anything that anybody heard? Celtic
Well, the
poetry.
War
War
Funeral
Funeral
March,
was the
94.
one that kind of put them on the map. So,
Oh, War Funeral March is in '94.
yep.
Oh my God. Yeah, that one's probably. I guess if these guys heard Vlad Tepes at the time, which I wouldn't be surprised because it has a lot of the same kind of melodies, is okay. I think we found something. So
What can I
Moonblood
say?
probably
You're welcome.
yeah. So what? I don't know. Did I say it before you? I think I might have.
Did you?
I think so. You were thinking the same exact thing.
You know, honestly though, when I'm
Well, I don't know.
Fred
when
settled
I'm
it.
listening to this track, the first thing I hear is like the urgency of Judas Iscariot, especially albums like of Great Eternity or Heaven in Flames, but those didn't come up for a year or two until after this. But this, to me, actually sounds a lot like Moonblood. more than Ravenclaw actually does. It has the same kind of driving urgency to it, and still like storied riff writing to it. That I think you'd probably have seen in some of their tracks at this point. And again, not
Yeah.
necessarily saying that they were listening to Moonblood and thought, "Oh, that's a good idea," but I I don't know. I don't think it was super ahead of its time. I think it was on time.
With just Moonblood, you think?
No, like I just don't think it. I don't think they beat anyone to the punch with the sound that they have here, but they hadn't fallen behind either. They were right in line with the development for that kind of thing.
Yeah. What I can basically say about this is it's pretty impressive to me for '96. This Nightwolf shit. Um,
I think
but
it's
I
impressive
really,
for a demo split. Like this thing sounds great for, especially if it actually is a drum machine, which our resident drum expert Paul says it is. So I'm gonna have to assume it is because I know nothing. It sounds fucking great.
No, it's great. Yeah.
that being said, Vlad Tepes War Funeral March. That's pretty damn impressive. Now that you bring it up. But
My
I
copy of
it,
that demo tape is on its way. Oh, finally.
I have the
Strike Silver?
I have the vinyl of it.
I have the I have a CD that was released on what was it, Embassy Records, which is pretty cool, but the that didn't come out for a couple years, or I think it was 95, 96 that it came out. The demo's 94. I know Vlad Tepes had a self-released version, but the Full Moon Productions demo, which is the one I have on the way, came out in 94. And that's the one that caused the whole debacle and fight between the Black Legions and Full Moon Productions.
Yeah, I'm really wondering like where the first instance of some of these melancholic sort of like melancholic epic riffs come from. Like, are there any of those in the Norwegian bands like earlier than this? I don't even know.
You
I
guys
think Paul
didn't think
found it. He got
Mutilation was a good candidate for that, but I think they were. I mean, like on some of the stuff you hear on Hail Satanas and Vampires of Black Imperial Blood feels um, emotional, almost frantically uh, desperate, which I kind of get from
I
this as well.
heard that stuff today, and I don't I wouldn't agree. I mean it has the melancholic thing, and some of it has like these weirdly epic kind of obscure sounds to it, but it's not exactly what would be done on this. Like the one thing I was thinking, like when did the first Horna album come out? But that didn't come out till '98 because that has those, that has these exact sounds, and I think Moonblood has some of these sounds in like '95. So
But
Nightwolf
for
isn't like the
Mutilation, like
first, but
go back and listen to tracks like Transylvania. I think you'll definitely hear it on there, especially the opening riff to
you know what?
Transylvania.
You know what? I think you're right. What year is that from?
95.
'95. Okay, but I heard similar shit on the Moonblood rehearsal from '90, or not rehearsal. I forget what it's called, the Winter or something.
Yeah, Winterfalls.
That's
what was that?
95, right?
Off the top of my head, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like similar
94,
shit
95.
on there. Yeah, there's straight up like similar shit to Transylvania from Mutilation, same year.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, where the fuck did this sound even come from, or did they kind of just develop it at the same time? It's sort of confusing to me. But I am interested in the like lineage of where this comes from.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think any of these bands directly influence each other because of the proximity of the time.
Yeah,
I think
it's
it
like
was
everything
a natural,
came out about the same
it was a
time.
natural progression of the scene at the time.
Well,
Very good.
did Burzum have anything that sounded kind of like that? Maybe the Dunkelheit. Maybe. What is that? 92 or 93 or something?
It was recorded
fuck
in
year is that?
1993, yeah. Didn't come out till like 95, but it was recorded in
Yeah, but it
92,
was
93.
yeah. That's weird. 96. Yeah, it's really hard to pinpoint some of this stuff. Either way, I think that's a pretty dank track. It's really solid early black metal, and yeah, I feel that it's pretty impressive to me. I
Paul,
think
speak up.
Well, I was gonna say, what song would you want to go into next?
um
Because I already dropped the mic back there with the Vlad Tepes, so.
let me see. Hold on a sec. Hold on. I'm checking. Okay. Track 3 or track 6? Track 3 is a little faster, but has kind of the same feel to it. Track 6 is more like Viking-ish with similar riffing.
Let's go 6.
All right, this is Dawn.
Yeah, so we listened to
5119.
Dusk,
Dawn and Dusk, yep.
and we'll be right back.
I've
Alright,
saved up about 400 Canadian.
alright, boys, we're back.
We back.
We're going to Canada.
It's too bad we didn't play the outro too. The outro is actually really cool.
Yeah, too bad. You
Really?
guys gotta
What is the
listen.
outro?
You guys gotta listen to this yourselves.
I'm gonna.
The outro is cool. It's like some jangly, kind of echoey guitar thing. It's cool.
Sounds like Dungeon Synth.
It does. It sounds like Dungeon Synth, but there's like a guitar in the back. It's cool. What the hell was it? When did these black metal people where they're like, it's all about atmosphere? I guess that's the whole thing, isn't it? That the whole thing is like not
Just
quite.
a vibe, bro.
It's catchy, but the catchiness is like part of bringing you into their own dang little world there. What was that track even called? Dawn. It was just the Dawn. Plus, it
Yeah,
sounded like pop punk.
yeah, and then the main
And like
riff comes in,
that
and
dying fetus song.
oh yeah, and then that main riff, I just love how long they hold those notes for. It's almost, dare I say, shoegazish.
It kind of is shoegayish.
Ha!
I think you're right.
I see what letter you missed there.
Gazish. What? You can grab a beer.
Yeah, I miss Zed. Freak Dan out. But no, that was a good track and showing different sides to what this band's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every track here, I think that maybe there's a few of them that are the same, but at least there's a couple that kind of slow down and like stomp around a bit. So that's cool.
Yeah, and Fred
And
was
they're all,
just
like
saying that.
all the Nightwolf tracks are just epic.
Yeah, and Fred was just saying, just sounds like Moonblood.
Yeah, does it just sound like Moonblood? Like, is this just Moonblood or is Nightwolf its own thing? Because Nightwolf only did this one release.
Yeah, I don't
Is
know.
there
Like
anything that
it's
separates the two?
I'm just
As a
wondering.
Moonblood fanatic,
I'm just wondering how much, or if, I guess, Gamal Zagoth had any involvement in the recording of that demo because it does have a very very Moonblood feel and sound to it, and I mean they worked on that final track together, right? So that was a collaboration. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was some studio assistance from Gamal Zagoth recording this Nightwolf demo. But I mean, not to take anything away from what Nightwolf does here, anyways. Like it's, regardless of what of his involvement, it's a fantastic demo, um, or half of a split, whatever. It the tracks are identifiable. Like they don't blend together much. The riffs are catchy and memorable. Like it's such a good recording.
I think if there's fans out there of stuff like Signir Volon and Horna and of course Moonblood, I think these two sides have enough to them that are different enough from stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it would just kind of scratch that itch, and it's just good. It's like you should fucking listen to this one, dude. It's got good shit. Like you never heard Ravenclaw, you never heard Nightwolf. They're different enough, and it's pretty good. I think that's fair enough. Different enough, and pretty good. That's the show. That is exactly what you get on the show. Different enough and good, pretty good.
Pretty fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's my basic analysis of what's going on here.
I think you should listen to the Cabaret for Bereaved demo, Dan. It
I did listen to it. Well, I tried. It's really fucking raw.
it's really raw, and
It's
obviously the
hard
same
to hear.
vocals,
It's
but
so fucking low.
the Gamal Zagoth only did vocals on that. I don't know if he was part of the band officially or if he just did guest vocals. Um, but it, I could see similarities with with Ravenclaw, but it was some Finnish guy who did most of the work on that demo. So
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I think the original thing that I thought when when I heard this is like this, like both sides are totally different. One's ugly, one's kind of like Transylvanian. Or the first side is
there it
kind of it's
is.
hard. The
There it
first
is.
side is what's that?
Transylvanian.
Transylvanian. Yeah, well, the first
Delicious.
side is like almost like retarded demon. Second side is like sad vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think those are great contrasting points within a black metal split. So to me, this is pretty much a perfect split from '96. I like it. I think it's cool. Now there are my
It's an
final
excellent
thoughts.
split all around. Whether I would rank it in my favorite splits, I mean, that's hard because Moonblood had splits. And look, I know the Emperor and Enslaved halves were released separately, but that's such a good fucking split. Vlad Tepes and Belket and Necromantia and Varathron.
As
Oh,
far
why
as
does black metal have so many good splits?
as far as black metal bands that didn't do much, I think that this is one of the good splits between like relatively unknown bands, and I think it's worth something.
Yeah, and
I think it's worth checking out.
they're not generic either. Like they're identifiable. Like there's good original material on this. It's not like a throwaway black metal demo compilation split, whatever, where you listen to it and you're like, yeah, that's good. It's good black metal. No, like these stand out in their own way. Nightwolf for being particularly well produced and performed, and Ravenclaw for being particularly not well produced and performed. But both
Right.
of them are memorable.
Yeah, I think the same thing. In that regard, just a good even split between two weird bands with kind of funny names.
With Harry Potter names.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, probably the best band. Best bands that did this split. They had all good songs on there. Best bands named Ravenclaw. Best bands named Nightwolf. Just be very particular.
Yeah,
Uh, no, but no, it was entertaining. It wasn't like something that I
it's not
wanted to.
expected. I feel like this is something a little bit unexpected. That's what I wanted to bring to the table. Something slightly unexpected.
Yeah, like if I was listening to something a little less, or a little bit more streamlined, I'd probably skim through it and turn it off. But this was like interesting the whole way through, from each project. But it was just so damn long that I only went through it a couple times. Um, but yeah, good bands and good dynamics between production and musicianship here. Uh, it just really shows.
Shows a black metal spectrum.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
And
it's on the spectrum, all right.
yeah, idiot savant black metal. But
The
yeah,
You mentioned how long it is, though. The I think the cool thing is, though, you don't need to listen to the whole thing together. Each half is listenable on its own. It doesn't need to be listened to in the context of the other half. It's just like two completely separate individual demos that do complement each other well, but you can totally just listen to one half and be perfectly
Dan-
well off with it.
Danny Boy wanted to listen to both. I had to listen to both.
Yeah, I
Well,
felt
yeah.
when I heard Ravenclaw, I'm like, these guys have to listen to Ravenclaw. I'm gonna make you listen to Ravenclaw.
All right, I'll pick something long next time. Make you go through what I did.
Do
I
it.
know, Daddy, no.
Yeah, because Fred got us through Chrono Trigger, so I gotta pick a
Hey,
long boy.
that was a good 3 hours.
That was a doozy.
It was.
But yeah, I think that's all, folks.
Yeah, good night, pigs.
That's all she wrote.